Only incels enjoy seeing it for the women to get put in their place, self-gratification.
Yeah, problem. I don't know what the fuck food I'm supposed to be making right now.
I came to be like, oh, there is something that's important here about like this community responsibility piece for the streamer. It's just not what the cringe like soy leftists are saying, right? It's not like being like, you're personally responsible if there are two slurs in your chat. It's like, well, you're as responsible as your TOS is, right? But like, just because there's somebody like saying edgy shit in your chat, A, who knows if they're joking or not.
Mealwood and farm tile
But
planter
there
boxes.
does seem to be like this, if the culture that's drawn towards you, when you look at that culture and you go, there's something a little yikesy here.
Oh boy.
Today we're going to be taking you guys.
Jalen donated $2. First donut. Well, thank you, Jalen. Appreciate it. I don't believe I saw Common Sense Skeptic's new video. Oh. Oh, wait. It's not the Tate one. Alright, anyway. Holy shit, an hour long. Okay. Let's say the short.
So how'd you end up meeting them and getting on the team?
Some people in my world, in Tate's world, knew each other, and they said, "Hey, what about this guy? Check him out." They looked at me and said, "It sounds good." We met up, and you know, the rest is history.
So people in Tate's world knew people in McBride's world. You know what Tate's world looks like, right? Some of the worst scum that humanity has ever crawled out of its asshole reside in the Tate inner circle. Pimps, rapists, traffickers, guys who brag about beating on their girls and show pictures and videos of the bruises they gave them to their buddies in the war room. They force their women to get branded with tattoos of their pimp's name. People who are now, one by one, getting exposed for their crimes. Like this imbecile who called himself Money Pilot. Within hours of the release of the recent BBC documentary done by Matt Shea, this pilot for Delta Airlines named Jonathan Bowe was suspended from Delta, the company declaring that they had zero tolerance for their employees conducting illicit activities.
What was your first impression of Anne and Tristan when you met them for the first time?
They are...
Truth donated $2. Let me see.
In 1972, a French factory began importing high-quality rare...
Okay, this is just fucking bullshit. There are no ancient nuclear reactors. That is just fucking stupid. Yeah, do you think these fucking people are gonna make a nuclear reactor? They'll fucking boil you in a pot. They're not gonna make a nuclear reactor. Anyway, thanks for the donation, Truth. See the new Fang trailer? I did not. Let me take a look.
The next battle. Tekken 8. New challenger.
Yeah, dude, the fucking, a lot of the characters are just way more fucking jacked. So some pretty crazy shoulders.
Looks like you're stronger than before.
Yeah, cool, he's coming back. Falcon Punch.
They didn't claim that those people made it, but extraterrestrials, and therefore they made those costumes to worship and thank them. If you actually watched the video, you would figure instead of judging by its cover.
Why in the fuck would aliens visit fucking people?
Hops. The Incas?
Why would aliens visit these people and build a nuclear reactor for them or some shit? Like, it's just stupid. What? You think, like, an incredibly advanced alien civilization that has the capability of interstellar travel is gonna go to Earth, see these fucking people dressed in this stupid shit who, like, have to take dumps in like, a hole in a fucking ground, who boil each other in pots, and then make a nuclear reactor there. For what? Like, it's just stupid. Thanks for that donation, though, Truth. Hello, will you do more gaming in the future? I really enjoyed you playing games like GTA, Last of Us 2, Life is Strange, and Shenmue. Well, yeah. Had a bit of a slump lately, where I just haven't really been in a gaming mood, but I started playing Modern Warfare 2 again. Modern Warfare 3 is coming out. There's a bunch of games coming out that I really want to play. Mortal Kombat 1 just got released, but apparently there's performance issues on PC, so I'm going to wait for a patch. Apparently the game's locked at 30 FPS on PC as well, so I'm going to wait for a patch in like a week or two or something. I also ordered a racing wheel, so I'm going to start playing some racing games. Poop donated $2. Horrible news. Skip to 213. Let me take a look.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the show. I'm not. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we have some new polls coming out about the 2024 election. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're abysmal. They are absolutely abysmal and somewhat astonishing, if I'm being honest with y'all. So this one is from YouGov, 2,385 people. And nationally, we have Trump at 50% and Biden at 49%. So in a rematch, we have Trump here up 1 point. Now, I want to remind you of something. The way that the Electoral College works, in order for Biden to win, Biden would need to be up like 3 percentage points at least. Because of the way that the support for the various parties are split up around the country, you've had a situation where Hillary Clinton, for example, won the popular vote by 3 million votes, but lost the Electoral College. Joe Biden won the Electoral College, but he had to win by 7 million votes in order for that to happen. So here we have a situation where he's just flat out down to Trump up front. Now, to be fair, of course, this is within the margin of error, but still, it should be nowhere near this if the Democrats were half competent. So I'm going to talk more about that in a second. But look at this independence number as well, man.
I genuinely do not understand how people are still in support of Trump. He is a proven rapist. He's a felon. He's currently, like, on trial for all this shit. He likely won't even be able to run. Because of the insurrection thing in the Constitution. He's useless. He did nothing during his 4-year term other than drive up the national debt. Like, I don't understand why anybody would vote for him.
Man, this is devastating.
I don't
you have
take
Trump
DHA.
at 57% and Biden at 42%. So Trump is blowing Biden out of the water with independence. That, ladies and gentlemen, is unsustainable. If you want to win the election, you're going to have to win independence. All right, I got more for you. By more than 2-1, voters say they're financially worse off, not better off, than they were before the pandemic, a new CBS poll finds. And those voters who say they're worse off are supporting Trump over Biden 71 to 28%. So, look, this gets to something we talked about the other day. One of the biggest mistakes of the Biden administration is that we had the sunsetting of all of these COVID-era social safety net provisions, like expansion of unemployment insurance and the earned income tax credit and the child tax credit and, like WIC and all these government programs that help people at the lower end of the economic ladder. Those people actually got a tremendous amount of help during the pandemic, to the point where, this is a fact everybody knows, we had a reduction of child poverty during the pandemic of nearly 50%. They nearly cut child poverty in half. Why? Because they chose. It was a policy.
Well, wasn't it the fucking Republicans that voted against this? This isn't really Biden's fault.
Have you tried streaming on multiple platforms at the same time?
No, I really have to do that. I have to create a Kick page. So yeah, I got to do that. Thanks for the donation though, Devil May Come. Appreciate it.
Choice to say, all right, let's help people out because they're going to be struggling colossally during this pandemic. And so they were getting help. And then all of these extended programs that we had during the pandemic, there's a sunset provision on them. They went away and they weren't re-upped at all. Well, guess what? When people came to rely on this social safety net that was genuinely helping them in a time of need, and now it goes away, now they're struggling and it feels horrendous because they were getting the help and now they're not. And so letting those programs sunset was a horrible mistake. At the very least, you could have kept like two of them, going, continued two of them, so you take the edge off for people.
No, I didn't make the video in response to Internet Anarchist. I might make it after the stream, though.
In an economy
Or
where,
just
as you all know,
tomorrow,
the
like
unemployment
morning.
rate might be low, inflation has come down drastically, but still you have like 60 or 70% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. So that's where...
Dude, that is still baffling to me. Why would anybody think Trump is going to be helpful for Social Security and shit? Can you take this, please? Thank you, sweetie.
Who they are.
Jessica donated $3. Let me see.
Welcome to the wide world of web. I'm your host, Smithers O'Neill. And on today's episode, we're going to learn how to write internet comments. Let's take a look at an example, shall we? Right now we're on one of my favorite internet forums, where I've commented on this beautiful 3D art. I had lots to say about this one, and the people were riveted by my comment. And you can do it too. A good comment contains one or more of the following.
This, looks like a fucking Tim and Eric sketch. I can't tell if this is real. Thanks for the nation, Jessica. We'll keep watching. Darth Putin donated $2. Go to 5045. Hassan Simps for China Hard. Makes his co-host uncomfortable. Downplays China oppressing Hong Kong. Says people only care because the media tells you to care. What? Oh my god, dude. Bro, I have a friend who came from China. He was visiting his uncle here, and he was supposed to only stay for a week, and he ended up just staying and not coming back and doing everything he possibly could to get a visa and then permanent residence. He said within 2 days of living here, he was like, "Oh my god, I have rights and freedoms?" He was just baffled by how much more advanced civilization is here, the technology we have, the freedoms we have, not having the police harass you constantly. China is a fucking shithole, dude. Anybody who fucking comes here from China wants to stay. And everybody from Hong Kong, once China was going to take over Hong Kong, they all sent their children over to Canada. All of them. That's why you see a huge Asian population around Toronto and BC. It's because they're all from fucking Hong Kong and their parents shipped them out here because they were worried the Chinese government was going to take over and take away all the rights and they wouldn't have a fucking future. China's a fucking shithole. Let me see what Hassan says.
Taiwan, Hassan. China or not
Taiwan?
China? Or is it China or not China?
That's the American policy. Whatever the American policy is, whatever the American perspective is.
Taiwan wants independence. I don't know why this has anything to do with what America wants. Taiwan wants independence. Taiwan also, again, they want America to protect them from China.
You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one country, two systems. You know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
Taiwan and China.
Is that according to American foreign policy?
No, what's your opinion? What's your?
It's clearly two countries. Okay, there's a weird mental gymnastics game about why the U.S. considers it one country, but they're two separate countries.
Your opinion, Taiwan independent?
My opinion on Taiwan is that Taiwan is the Chinese concept of Taiwan should remain in the hands of the people in Taiwan who
therefore it's independent.
Who, for the record, for the most part, just believe to not disrupt the ongoing relations with.
Why are you being
China.
so carefully footed around this?
Because I know that there's going to be a subreddit.
issue.
There's going to be a subreddit post with like 1 million fucking comments being like, Hassan wants
just said
everyone in
nothing.
Taiwan to be killed because he loves China. He's a Xi Jinping.
That's what I
stooge."
heard.
That's what I just. It's already over. You asked me that question, like in jest, and it's gonna.
No, I
go
was
there.
genuinely curious what you think about it.
Is Hassan like so retarded he actually denies like the Uyghur genocide in China? Like, is he that fucking retarded?
I think
Hassan
that
Piker am using a gun.
I think that overall, it's contemporary history is complex. At the end of the day,
It's not. The communist government basically attacked the established capitalist government at the end of World War II. The capitalist government fled to Taiwan and they made a new country. Like there's nothing particularly complex about this. Like, if you're going to deny Taiwan is its own independent nation, that's basically like saying the United States is still part of Great Britain.
if the Taiwanese citizens would ever put this up for a vote and we're like, we want to fucking be an independent nation, it's up to them. You know what I mean?
What do you mean up for a vote? They consider themselves an independent nation. Like, what the fuck? This is insane.
No. There is no.
No, what Hassan said is true from everything I've read. That most people in Taiwan nowadays support just keeping the status quo, like the kind of
but they're
strategic ambiguity of what's
overwhelming
going on there.
the overwhelming majority's consensus opinion is that they don't want to disrupt relations with China, and they also like.
I don't know what he means by that. They don't want China to invade. That's what they want. So I don't know what he means by disrupt relations with China. The only thing they want is for China not to invade.
Obviously, if it was a situation between like full-blown independence versus like becoming a Chinese state, like becoming a part of the Chinese state.
Do the people of Taiwan like pay taxes in China? Like, do they?
They don't.
vote? And
I don't know. I don't know
if they
the
even have
exact
elections.
details of that.
Do
But
they have
don't.
like travel status in China?
But the thing is, like, as far as Chinese Taiwanese relations goes, like the original inception of the country is,
By the way, Taiwanese food is great.
Taiwan
is a fascist dictatorship that America recognized as the real China until Richard Nixon normalized relations with China, and that's where they implemented the they call it strategic ambiguity, which I call lying.
Hold on. This says that the current administration of Taiwan maintains that Taiwan is already an independent country.
There's yes.
This does not have to push for any sort of formal independence.
There are well, that's because they don't want to do like a full blown.
Exactly.
They don't want to disrupt the status quo. That's why they're saying that.
Well, sure, they don't want to be
autonomy.
invaded by China.
They want autonomy while simultaneously being under the Chinese banner, according
like
to
they want
international.
No, they don't. What? Okay, Hassan's just a fucking moron, dude. Holy shit.
Have you seen the accusations and open call out of India Trudeau did yesterday? He's going after government-motivated international assassinations and it's pretty spicy.
Yeah, I didn't see the video, but I heard
Today
about
I'm
it.
rising to inform the House of an extremely serious matter. I just informed the leaders of the opposition directly, but I want now to speak with all Canadians. Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Canada is a rule of law country. The protection of our citizens and defense of our sovereignty are fundamental. Our top priorities have therefore been, one, that our law enforcement
I hate Trudeau,
and
he's a piece of
security
shit.
agencies ensure the continued safety of all Canadians, and two, that all steps be taken to hold perpetrators of this murder to account. Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government. Last week at the G20, I brought them personally and directly to Prime Minister Modi in no uncertain terms. Any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty. It is contrary to the fundamental act. We've been working closely and coordinating with our allies on this very serious matter. In the strongest possible terms, I continue to urge the government of India to cooperate with Canada to get to the bottom of this matter. I also expect it to reiterate that its position on extrajudicial operations in another country is clearly and unequivocally in line with international law. This to change us. To the rule.
Okay, it's a lot of tough words from a weak man. Thanks for the donation, though, Quest.
You can dox me on Ick. The felines.
Alright, let me take a look. Oh my god. That's amazing. This one's very orange. Holy shit. Whoa. Oh my god. That cat's still very orange. That's amazing. Thanks for the donation, thee then now. Those are some nice kitties.
Nigger. Nigger 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 nigger. Cheers.
Thank you for that, Poopy Stinks. Appreciate it.
Lipstick on. Fuck it. Gluck, gluck, gluck. Gluck 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 gargle.
Well, thank you for all those glucks. Appreciate the donation, Christy.
What do you think of Hassan? What do you think of Ethan?
I think Hassan is an absolute moron. Just practically brain dead. I think Ethan's smarter, but still not particularly smart, and he's also an opportunist. I don't think he really has many strong moral values. He's mostly looking out for himself. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
In person and online, And I recognized that immediately. Real recognizes real. So I could tell by the way I interacted with them, by the way I shook their hands, that they were the same people 24/7, 365, and I respect that a lot.
McBride makes this statement that Andrew and Tristan Tate are the same people in real life that you see online. However, that line is in direct conflict with another statement made by Tate's Romanian legal team, where they were trying to convince people that Andrew Tate is playing a character when you see him in his How to Be an Online Pimp tutorials. According to McBride and these two Tate dick riders, Andrew Tate is the same foul-mouthed, misogynistic piece of crap that you see in every video.
Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Yeah, we gotta maybe watch this tonight. That seems pretty interesting.
Following. Interesting knowledge. Details you enjoyed or did not enjoy. An emotional story. And a dash of humor. Or dare I say two. Yes, my comment includes all of these examples, but for you, I'd focus on just one for now. Oh, looks like somebody already replied. Huh. Seems like Jeremiah here disagrees with my comment. In these situations, we need to respond calmly and dignified. We can reply, A, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. B, please provide reasoning so I can understand your perspective. C, you wouldn't know what art is even if it fucked you in the ass. Option C clearly has the best qualities of the three. Now Jeremiah will understand how much his opinion means to me.
That was great.
Jeremiah is really trying to devalue my opinion while making his sound superior. How should we proceed?
Study
A,
T-charts.
Ignore him. B, explain that there is no correlation between celibacy and artistic knowledge. C, find personal information to comment on. Option C it is again. We can comment on a lot about Jeremiah just by going through his profile. Well, 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 look what we have here. We can see his appearance, an About Me section, and this cock-starved goblin girl he calls a girlfriend. I'd rather be celibate until I die than have that inbred mongoloid you call a girlfriend. When commenting to prove a point, weaponizing personal information is essential to your dominance. Bet you've never talked to a girl in real life. Okay.
This would have
As
actually
you can see,
been
Jeremiah here is
useful
desperately trying to
back
paint me as a
then.
particular character. This calls for one thing and one thing only. Proving Jeremiah is a sexual predator. But we don't need to exactly find that information. We can create it. After hours of hard work, I present to you the blog written by the student victims of art teacher Jeremiah Adler, aka Ass Grabber Adler.
Oh, that's great.
We've got plenty of stories about Jeremiah's predatory behavior, all very descriptive. And it even includes a section where they make fun of his incredibly small penis. So we'll just link that here. And voila, we've got Ass Grabber Adler bent over a barrel. Oh boy, I wish we could see the look of horror on his face right now. Oh my gosh, look at all these other comments. But it does seem like there is an entirely new discussion opening up here.
Not for pedos.
Well then.
Oh my god.
It looks like we've got two options here. A, log off and go outside.
Oh shit.
B, add your 2 cents to the conversation. Well, as I always say, who needs the outside world when you're inside the wide world of web? Well, it's certainly been a productive day on the web. We learned how to write a good comment, got to know other users, and spread valuable information. I'm Smithers O'Neill, and thanks for joining.
That's fucking amazing. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. All right, let's watch some fucking Hamza being fucking ding dong. This is gonna be great. What women want, coming from the guy who's a fucking virgin, who every girl he's been with has broken up with him because they can't stand him.
What do feminine women actually want? Everyone online who has a program to sell you on how to make money will tell you that women want money. Any guy online who has a program to tell you how to make muscle will tell you that women want muscle. And I think these are only just level one explanations. Women want some of the modern day material success. They want a guy who's got money, who's got muscle, who's got some confidence, but it goes much deeper than that. You see, there's phases.
Weird. It's almost as if women want like a relationship and not just money or something.
To actually winning a woman's heart. Phase one is attraction. You must be able to attract her, and this comes down to things like looks maxing, first impressions, body language, status, money, fame. This is where all of the advice stops. It's just in phase one. All of the advice that you've been given about relationships and dating is purely phase one attraction.
No, it's fucking not. Dude, especially when you're talking about a serious relationship where you're living with somebody, it's way more complicated than just having somebody be attracted to you. Again, this is coming from the guy who's a fucking virgin where every girl's fucking left him. He hasn't broken up with any of his girlfriends. They've broken up with him because they can't stand him. If he had ever been in a serious relationship, he'd know it's a lot more difficult to, be in a relationship, especially a serious one where you're living together. It's way more complicated than just being attracted to the other person. Yeah, and I think he tugs on his own nipples too hard. They look kind of burnt. Poop donated $2. Look at this crazy spicy take from Destiny. Skip to 5406. Let me see.
You're telling me that a guy...
She knows.
5406.
I kind of agree with you, but like, here's the issue that I have right now, and it's very frustrating. That's why I'm out here doing what I do. Okay, I would probably take I would take absolutely Ben Shapiro's understanding and vision of an economy over any far left person on the internet, over Sam Cedar, over Hassan, over Vosh. I would take Ben Shapiro's over 1,000,000,000%.
Wow, really?
Easily,
that is
easily.
You really.
Easily.
I don't know too much about Sam Cedar, but he just seems to be pro-union. He doesn't seem like socialist or communist at all. He just wants very strong union. Like, from what I understand, he just wants very strong unions and like a robust social safety net as well, and social programs like free healthcare. I would take that over literal absolute free market capitalism like Ben. That would be a fucking nightmare.
Easily.
Wait, hold on.
Like, by the way, Ben Shapiro doesn't want there to be public schools.
Hold on. Let me clarify. So you would say, if I had to give a person the keys to restructure the economy, I would choose Ben Shapiro over Sam Cedar.
Without a second thought. Yeah, absolutely.
That is crazy.
Absolutely,
What?
Absolutely. But
Dude,
the issue
Sam Cedar's
is
not even that extreme, though, I
have almost no respect left for Sam Cedar after watching the way he conducts himself online through multiple parties. I don't even know what planet that guy's on anymore. But the issue that I'm running into is that
has nothing to do with his economic policies.
You've got the far right, who are fucking insane, okay? Just as insane as, or more than the far left. Then you've got, like, I say the center right, but it's right now it's really just Ben Shapiro, okay?
There's no center right.
Yeah, then you've got the far left, like the Hassan, the Sam Cedars, like all these other guys. And there's, like, online, who the f are your center left representatives? You've got, like, people leading questions. Why would you ask me? Don't you think that all of you can be covered? I don't know. Why not just say if it was covered?
Because I'm asking you to analyze the language of a tweet. That's not a leading question. I'm asking for what your basic analysis of the semantic structure of a sentence is, and to see if it corresponds with mine on the map. I don't think that's fucking unreasonable. Holy shit.
Okay.
Just try having a more interesting topic next time.
Wow.
All right, maybe I'll talk to him about that later. Thanks for the nation, Poop.
This is why a lot of guys eventually end up making progress in these attraction areas. They learn how to cold approach. They learn how to improve their Instagram. They learn how to make some money, make some muscles, and they actually start to attract some girls. But these same...
Oh, I think he's saying a lot of these programs stop at phase one. They don't teach you how to, like, stay in a relationship. Okay, I think I misunderstood.
I'd rather have my kid go to Pride and not skip leg day.
I think Sneeko skips every day, to be honest. Yeah, he is very weak and small. Like, I genuinely don't understand why this guy is even boxing if he has, like, no muscle. Like, you're not going to be able to hit anybody hard enough to hurt them, so... Like, I could just, like, take a nap while he's punching me, and, like, nothing would happen. So, I don't know why he doesn't build up some muscle and then box or do that at the same time. But yeah, I think I'd rather my prides go to school and actually lift than end up like Sneeko. Thanks for the nation, though, TT.
Would you want to visit or live in a place like Thailand? Do you think Sneeko or Hamza is more dumb?
I think Sneeko's more dumb. The reason is he's friends with Fuentes, has adopted Nazi beliefs. I would actually say Sneeko's on the Nazi spectrum. He's a Holocaust denier. He thinks the Jews should be eradicated, so he's a Nazi. So yeah, on that basis alone, I'd say Sneeko's dumber than Hamza. I don't think I'd want to either visit or live in Thailand. The main reason is just the government there. So they had that military coup a while ago. And since then, basically the police and military are extremely authoritarian and they will just fuck with you if you get on their bad side and you really have no rights. Look what happened to Ice Poseidon. Like, I mean, he twerked. He didn't technically violate any laws there. And then the police, I think, threatened to kill him because they were, like, in a fucking hotel room and it looked like they were being held hostage and about to get their heads sawn off or something. Like, that was bizarre. So I wouldn't want to visit a country like that. I'm also like there's not really much there for me. Not really into ladyboys. It's kind of a crappy country just in general. So like it's a third world country. I mean, there's some places that are nice and shit, but it's just I'd rather visit somewhere else that's warm and tropical than Thailand, really. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Very guys who feel like chads end up getting ruined by the girls that they've actually fallen for because they don't know how to maintain or to grow her love. They don't know how to still be a man on his purpose. They don't even understand what purpose
Here
means.
we
They
go.
just think it's simply...
Man on his purpose. Hate to break it to you, there's no such thing as purpose. There's no meaning to anything. There's only nihilism. So when he uses a term like purpose, he just means interest. You only have a set of interests, and your interests change over time.
means like the goals that he sets, the material success that he wants to build, the bulk that he wants to put onto his body. If you stop at phase 1 of attraction, you might be able to have sex. So many guys will stop there, but I think a greater man, a man who knows he has higher potential, won't stop at this level. Because you'll understand that what women want is not just the attraction phase where she's into you and she replies back to your texts and maybe she has sex with you. Rather, the second phase is that of actually getting her to deeply fall in love with you. You see, what women want is not just the attraction things, but those beautiful moments that she turns into a story. You see, for women, it's very much about the story that she plays in her mind, or the one that she could tell to her other feminine friends. They love the idea of meeting this guy who is so loving and so charming and who takes care of them. So let's say you've got the woman. Let's say you've attracted her. Let's say she's into you. Let's say now you're dating her, you're having sex with her regularly. How do you go from where most guys will stop, which is phase 1, chump level, attraction only, The same guys who get divorced, who get cheated on, whose relationship just goes to shit. How do you take that and bring it to the next level where your love with her grows even deeper? This is where you must come into those like weirder, deeper spiritual things. This is where the money that you make no longer is that special. She's already attracted to it. Okay, fine, you've got the girl who's got the money, but now she's looking for something deeper. And the muscles, the confidence, it's all just the same thing. So what a woman wants at this stage, where most guys fuck up.
Well, I mean, to varying degrees, people are going to care about your looks, right? And the amount of money you make. I don't think you'll be able to find a woman who doesn't find a bit more money attractive, better looks attractive, you know, stuff like that. But fundamentally, like, if the actual relationship is bad, whether you're a man or a woman, you're not going to want to stay in the relationship purely because of somebody's looks or money. I don't know what he means by this stage. Like, the reason you get into a relationship with somebody is because you want the relationship, not a body or money. Poop donated $2. Amazing news. Let me see.
Well, it's official. YouTube has just now banned anything related to health that doesn't align with the general medical consensus. So if
Yes. That's good. So he's probably harmed people, by the way. He got his chiropractic license suspended because he was telling patients that they shouldn't take vaccines because it will cause cancer. So, yeah, you should absolutely be banned if that happens. Fuck this guy.
If any information related to health doesn't agree with the World Health Organization, they won't necessarily always take down the video, but they're going to change the algorithms. So they're going to replace those videos that were popular, that had lots of likes and lots of engagement, with medical information. This new partnership with YouTube is supposed to protect you against misinformation and promote high quality health information. And their definition of misinformation is anything that opposes their viewpoint. I mean, if you go to drberg.com, you will see that I have 7,607 success stories. I'm helping people. I'm giving people lots of non-toxic solutions. And if you just read the comments, you'll see that a lot of people are being helped. So my information is not dangerous. It's not misinformation. It's actually quite helpful. And this new change is going to hurt a lot of people because they're not going to be able to find alternative viewpoints.
Yeah, buddy. So there's medicine and there's everything else. So the alternative viewpoints are bullshit. In all cases, they're harmful. Now you can say something like, "Oh, well, you can lower your cholesterol through exercise and diet." That doesn't go. That's an alternative form of that's an alternative to taking medication, but that's already established medical fact. So when you're talking about like the stupid shit that he promotes, like eating a really high fat, high butter diet or doing fasting to like cure some sort of allergy or, you know, some dumb crap like that, or cracking your spine, that's all bullshit. So yeah, that sort of shit shouldn't be promoted in the algorithm at the very least, if not should be banned. Like, this guy's harming people with his advice.
How could you hate Sneeko? He's having such a wide-ranging impact as a role model.
Let me take a look. Oh yeah, well, we already saw it.
Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman!
What? No, wait. We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're friends with a radical Nazi like Fuentes and you promote these ideas. Pretty fucked up, eh? Thanks for that donation, Quest.
Alternative opinions. Sometimes medicine does.
I don't know, like, this isn't an opinion. This is either fact or fiction. So it's either fact or fiction that certain things are good or bad for you. So why should YouTube allow somebody to say something that's dangerous?
What is a warm, tropical place you would want to visit? Have you always been really confident?
I think Japan would be a nice place to visit. There's some like Caribbean islands I'd maybe be down to visit. So shit like that. But yeah, Thailand, especially the way it is now politically. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to visit. And yeah, I've always been pretty confident. I used to be more of an introvert, so I just would avoid talking to people and shit, but I've always been fairly confident. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Giga Chad donated $2, buddy. What racing games are you going to play? Simulation or arcade? Also, would you play this? Let me see.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crew Motorfest. And we're going to do a motovlog today here. After playing it a little bit, it's really cool that you can import all your cars from the Crew 2 that you had into this. Now, let's go around the left. Weird, man.
I'm really dissatisfied with all of the motorcycle racing games that exist. Even like the Ride series, they just kind of feel funny. The best game in terms of motorcycle physics that I've played was what's it called? Isle of Man TT. I think they're making a sequel to that. I don't know how the Crew motorcycles feel. I haven't played that game yet. I was thinking of getting it, maybe, but we'll see. I'm fine with playing arcadey racing games. It's just that they have to be arcadey in the right way. So I don't like Mario Kart. They're, especially now, the physics are just way too fucking simple. And it's way too like easy to ride. So if something's a little more complicated and there's a learning curve, I'm fine with arcadey racers. It's just when they're too simple and too easy, and the physics are just like way too cartoony. I'm planning on playing a bunch of simulators, so Assetto Corsa, Project Cars. I might get iRacing. I think there's one more. I can't remember it, but I might also get Forza, shit like that. I ordered a really good direct drive steering wheel. It's a Fanatec CSL DD. Right now I'm just getting it with the pedals, and in a week or two I'll get the shifter and everything for it. I just don't have like $1 billion right now to spend all at once. But thanks for the donation, Giga Chad.
Would you ever go back and visit your home country of Niger?
No, it's a little too fucked up there. People are eating each other, so I'd rather stay away. Thanks for the donation, Keenan.
Doesn't work. Looking for inexpensive natural remedies to handle certain body issues.
So just because, like, again, just because you're not using medication...
How come you don't like Hawaii?
I mean, I could visit Hawaii. It wouldn't be off the table, but... I don't know. Hawaii doesn't really appeal to me so much. I've seen Hawaii, like, maybe I've seen too much of normal people Hawaii. You know, where, like, the Polynesians live. And not enough of touristy Hawaii, but it doesn't look that great. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Yeah, so just because there are alternatives to taking medication, that doesn't mean it's alternative medicine. So, like, again, a doctor will fucking obviously tell you, and they do get some nutrition training.
Your microphone looks like a moldy dog turd with all that hair on it. It's making me horny. My sad little Tic Tac is now a chubby little jelly bean. Will you flick my bean? Did you microwave any poop today? I did. 5 logs. Gimme a break of that shit log bar.
Well, I didn't microwave any poop today. I did poop, but it wasn't a big poop, so I didn't think it was enough to really spend the time in microwaving. But thanks for the donation, microwave poop. I think I'll leave the bean flicking up to you. So yeah, just because there's an alternative to medication, so like, you know, cholesterol medication, for example, and you could lower your cholesterol through diet, that doesn't make it alternative medicine. So alternatives to medication are not like banned on YouTube. You can still promote like health and wellness, exercising, lifting weights, dieting in order to help prevent or cure diseases. It's alternative medicine and bullshit like anti-vaccination that they're fucking banning.
But guess what? Now they're going to have a very difficult time finding those solutions because
Good.
all these medical sites are going to replace alternative health. I mean, I used to rank for so many conditions. Now you can't even find me unless you type Dr. Berg / whatever. And even on the keto diet, I have 928 keto videos. That's right, 928 videos. Guess what?
So we got 2.8 million views 6 days ago. Like, he's complaining that people aren't seeing his videos. I think he actually started to become more popular recently, because I remember he was making like around 20,000 views per video, something like that, and it looks like his popularity increased. Because now it's in the hundreds of thousands to millions. Dude, how does this fucking moron get so many views? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, good. This fucking asshole should be deranked in the algorithm or banned.
What? When you type keto diet, you can't find me. Instead, the #1 ranked video is from Mayo Clinic, okay? And the comments are turned off. And you can see the likes are actually not very high compared to the number of...
This guy is complaining about not showing up in a search that's unrelated to him fundamentally. And he's getting hundreds of thousands to millions of views on his videos. Like, what the fuck is he complaining about? That's so stupid.
Views. I think they have like 260,000 views, but very few likes. And it's an anti-keto video. And I'm going to share some interesting things in that video. But I first want to communicate a couple things. You know, a long time ago when Google started, they had this motto, and that was, do the right thing. And then they changed it to, don't be evil. And now I don't even know if they have a motto. But you think just giving people this one medical viewpoint, this monopoly over your body, your healthcare, you think that's going to increase the quality of health? I mean, basically this move is going to wipe out the competition. And competition, competing viewpoints and opinions are very, very good in the healthcare field because it forces everyone to raise the bar and do better at getting results. And how do we trust this medical group with all the strategic alliances and the strategic partners? The strategic alliances with Big Pharma and how they partner with medical universities and medical journals. How do we trust that? Like I said before, their definition of misinformation is basically any information that opposes the medical viewpoint, the medical consensus. How do we make sure they're transparent?
I mean, if, like, let's assume Eric Berg, not Dr. Eric Berg, had a platform like YouTube. And he was posting, you know, information that he thought in his mind was accurate, correct, helpful. And then he saw people that he knew for sure 100% objectively were posting information that was harmful, where people could actually die if they follow that advice. would he really be in favor of allowing that that content to stay up? Like, probably not. It's just so bizarre how these people are like, free speech, but then, like, you're also talking about having a private platform where you can actually control outcomes like this, where, you know, people could actually die from bad information.
With all the conflict of interest, the strategic alliances and the strategic partners, and what they call the stakeholders, which some of them are part of industry, and of course the revolving doors with all the directors. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I think it's going to hurt a lot of people, because freedom of health information is really freedom of speech. And it's a very slippery slope. The more you start filtering out other opinions, other viewpoints, so many people go on the internet because they have not gotten results with certain types of medications, and they're trying to find alternatives. So if someone wants something that's non-toxic, okay, or something that's natural, or a do-it-yourself remedy, that is all considered dangerous misinformation. Yeah, it's just terrible. But it's not just me, it's all the other alternative healthcare practitioners, anyone who comments on nutrition, even the layperson who wants to share their viewpoint on health. They're not going to rank. And this doesn't just hurt me or them, it hurts the person trying to find the right knowledge. We're going to be pretty much stuck with just one way of treating the body.
That is a false dichotomy. Again, it's recognized in medical literature that there's more than one way of treating like any particular illness. So you can still give diet advice or, I don't know, some other type of wellness advice. It's just that if it goes against the established medical literature, like you say something stupid like, oh, I have heart disease, what should I do? Oh, stop taking statins. Statins are bad for you. Eat lots of butter and shit like that. That's good for your heart. That's something Eric Berg does. That is something that would be banned by YouTube. And he shouldn't be able to do that. That would literally kill people. All right, I'm done with this. He's just basically repeating himself, but he's a fucking idiot.
Is a masculine man who actually has a purpose that his life is aligned to. It's a man who, when he is with her, he is totally and utterly present. It's a man who's able to...
Hey man, how is training and your diet going? Are you losing a lot of strength? I have lost 45 pounds in 4 months before. I am not very patient either, you.
Diet and training's going really well. I haven't lost any strength, at least compared to when I started the diet. I'm not at my strongest because I tore my tricep and I had to take some time off training before. But yeah, I haven't lost strength since starting the diet. I'd rather not be dieting. I like eating food, but, you know, all things considered, things are going pretty well. I'm getting leaner, not losing any strength, staying strong, not losing any muscle either. If anything, I've actually gained muscle. And I'm able to adhere to the diet and training pretty well. Right now, I'm getting to that, like, you know, last 10% mark, and like I probably have, like, you know, a few more weeks of dieting, you know, something like that, and I'm noticing that I'm getting more sluggish, so I'm more tired. It's harder to do things, like that's kind of to be expected when you're close to the end. But otherwise, yeah, it's going good. Thanks for the donation, 24 Swiffer.
To overcome her tests. And that's one of the greatest challenges when it comes to dating as like a masculine guy who's dating a feminine woman. No one actually talks about this online. Everyone literally just talks about the attraction phase, which makes me believe that all these little dating coaches don't have much actual genuine experience, because it is exhaustingly difficult to be in a relationship with a feminine girl. No guy will tell you all these like fairy tale guys online.
I mean, shouldn't be difficult, might be complicated, but it shouldn't be, like, difficult.
tell you, yep, if you make some money and you're the top G and you're the big dog, then girls will just make it super easy. They'll make your life easy. No, if you're a chump and you want a woman to make your life easy because you want mommy to come in and save you, fine. But if you want to be more of a masculine man, if you want to be a man with a purpose, a man who's on to greater things, a woman will not make your life easier. She will make it 10 times harder.
No. If you're in a bad relationship, sure. I don't know why it's a rule that if you're in a relationship, your life is going to be harder.
Which, like, masculine guys will see as a good thing. You knew that an easy life wasn't the right path. You knew that a harder life would make you into a stronger man. So this is what we want. We want a woman who could challenge us. We want a woman.
This is genuinely retarded. More plates, more fakes. Donated $2. The entitlement of meat eaters is off the charts. Thank God for vegan bodybuilders. Let me see. This guy's a fucking idiot, dude. Just monstrously stupid.
Eat eggs, eat eggs. People ask me, hey, did you advise vegans? No, I don't understand veganism. Vegetarians, yeah, I help you. If you eat eggs, if you don't eat eggs, stay away from me. I believe we're supposed to eat animals, not plants. If you want to eat plants, stay in your corner.
No.
Eat eggs.
This guy's a fucking moron. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up having a heart attack and then his wife makes like a video on his Instagram saying like he passed away or some shit. Thanks for the nation though. More plates, more fakes. That dude's a complete fraud.
A woman who could test us relentlessly to stay present and loving. What does she want?
You know, it really shows when they use these phrases like women test you constantly. They are probably, it's probably two things. They're super insecure, and whenever like a woman or anybody probably gets into an argument with them or tells them off or something, they think they're being like tested. You know, it's like an attack on who they are as a person. And they probably also, like, they can't handle any kind of criticism, anybody questioning them. Like, why would you think if somebody has an issue with you that, you know, they're when they have an argument or something, you're being tested? Like, it's just a weird kind of thought to have. Like, maybe you did something fucked up. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Like, why would you assume you're being tested by somebody? Just weird.
She wants you to be at your best 24/7, and that is such a tall order that any guy who's actually been in a relationship with a feminine girlfriend will know that this is
Yeah, this is insecurity. If you think you have to be at your absolute best in front of somebody constantly, like you have to be on your best behavior, you have to be working hard, you have to look your best, eat the best, like, you're just insecure as fuck, dude. Live your fucking life. If somebody around you doesn't appreciate who you are the way you are, then fuck him. Like, this guy is just an insecure fucking loser.
actually so difficult. Because for a truly feminine woman, she has this very sensitive radar that she can literally tell if you've got thoughts in your mind. And if you've got any thoughts in your mind, if you aren't...
A woman can tell if you have thoughts in your mind? Oh, geez. Is that kind of like how dads know if the thermostat's changed?
present, she will feel hurt. She will start to close off and feel kind of like depressed. Like a feminine woman's energy is kind of like this. Like, let's say this is where she needs to be. And she's there when you're kissing her, when you if you hold her so closely and you hug her and you tell her that you love her and you mean it, she's here. Every second that passes by, she starts going down. She needs a constant top up of your presence, of your love, the way that you could grab her, pull her in and be so sweet. And guess what? The moment you take your eyes off her, the moment you get some deep thoughts about your business, her little love radar starts going down. And
yeah, so if you have a person that's so needy, she starts instantly becoming depressed if you're not giving her attention, then you're dating a fucking child or somebody with severe psychological difficulties. Okay, like a normal fucking person just needs a certain amount of attention and love in a relationship. They don't need constant, like, clingy fucking smothering in order to be happy. So you're talking about somebody who's either like a fucking child or they're just psychologically fucked. It's dumb.
You'll literally physically see this in her. It'll look like she'll have like depressive symptoms. She'll like those moments when you feel particularly like motivated for your business, but you're still next to your girlfriend, you know, because you're eating together like modern day couples do, like all this bullshit. Like, yeah, we're best friends. So we spend so much time together and that's why we're so depolarized. So you're spending so much time with your girlfriend. You're there trying to like, you know, think about your business, writing down iPhone notes or something like that on Notion, doing your little habit tracker. You'll see her start to like show signs of depression where she's fidgeting with the little napkin. She's looking all sad and wondering a little bit. Feminine women, like this is something which so many guys don't understand. They are so sensitive to how loving you are this very second. And the moment that you lose your presence when you're still physically next to her, she will start to feel unloved because they're so sensitive to that. It's a very tall order.
Cool story, bro. Cool story. So, was it you who was like tugging your nipples too hard or that feminine woman?
To be this loving, to be this presence. Because if you're not, think about what it means from her perspective. In her mind, in her heart, when you lose presence, it shows that you're a lesser man. Because if you are with your woman, you should be present. The time you spend with her should be in total presence where you want to be loving her and focused on her. But too many of us guys, we think that like what a woman wants is to spend as much time as possible with us. That's what it seems, right? When she says, "Oh, come on, let's go to eat, let's go to do this, let's do this, let's do this," she mentions all these fun things you can do. Too many of us guys believe that and don't realize that it's actually a test.
What?
What she needs. Not just
I'm sorry. Apparently, women are like fucking stupid or crazy, and rather than just telling you what they want, they're saying things that they don't mean to test you constantly. This is just paranoid, insecure delusions.
just what she wants, but what she needs is for you to only organize the time together where you're going to be like loving and present. And that might literally be a few hours a week. It might be 10 minutes a day. The time that she spends by your side where you're not even present, you're not even in the loving mood because you're focused on something else. You want to go and eat and get your protein in.
How can you love somebody when you're eating a protein shake? Think about that the next time after your workout you're having your pea or soy protein. I'm just going to go get some glue. I have to fix my phone case.
Hey, Prim Prim. How are you doing, little boy? Yes. I'm not going anywhere. I'm getting glue. Yeah.
Feel unloved and actually think less of you. And then the Chad walks in the store. That's when that attractive guy walks in and he gives your woman that sort of sexually pregnant, teasing eye contact.
What?
And she can't help but to fantasize about a different guy. Because that different guy...
Yes, while you're gulping down your protein shake, your girl is getting hit on by Chad. What the fuck is this? This is one of the most bizarre videos he's ever fucking made. He's genuinely, like, mentally fucked. Like, where do you get these ideas? There's no way this guy has ever had a good, healthy relationship if he thinks like this, and it's entirely his fault. He really needs to go get psychiatric help. Because this is like almost schizophrenic level paranoid delusion. All Hopefully that sticks. The Gorilla Glue is pretty awesome. I like how they have the, like, pens.
Is treating her with pure polarity. He's not trying to be friends with her, and here we are, little chumps, trying to be friends with our girlfriends. If your woman is truly feminine and you are truly masculine, you can't actually be friends with her. You can like, depolarize your relationship. You can just have, like, ejaculate a few times a day till eventually you feel like a little fucking boy or like half girl, and you can be friends with her then.
Okay, buddy. I can tell you right now, if you cannot be friends with your long-term partner, your relationship is not going to last. That idea is so fucking stupid. Like, no shit, you can't be friends with somebody if your relationship at its core is adversarial and you think you're constantly being judged and tested. So, it's no wonder every girl this guy's been with has left him. No shit, they don't want to be around you. You're not willing to respect them and be friends.
She could be friends with you when she turns on her masculinity and she starts to be goal striving. But if she's feminine and you are masculine, you're not supposed to spend that much time together. So what she says she wants, which is for you guys to go to these events and these cute little things and let's do this and let's do this, that's not actually what she wants. She wants a man who will look her in the eyes and say, no, I don't want to do that with you. I will see you tonight, but we will not do this fun little friendship thing. I will see you when I can be totally present and loving to you. And she'll act upset. This is like the great feminine lie. She will test you and act upset.
So if you want to spend time with her and do something fun, she won't, because it's not feminine enough? I'm really confused. What is this? I really wish I could, like, have the power to look into this guy's life and just know exactly what went on to, like, bring him here. This is so baffling. I don't know if, like, this might just be entirely a grift, but this is just baffling.
When you pass the test, and only then to be way more turned on by you afterwards. What she wants is a man who's strong enough to look her into the eyes and say, no, I don't believe that that's a good idea. I don't believe that we should spend all of our time together. She wants a man who will look her into the eyes and say, no, I can't meet you at that time because I'm doing something which is related to my purpose.
You know, I think that's how normal people kind of are forced to do things. Like, a normal person is going to have interests outside of their partner, so yeah, that's kind of what people do. You might want to go to the gym, she might want to do something else, and then, yeah, you might say, well, I'm gonna go to the gym maybe after, or maybe tomorrow we can, like, that's how a normal fucking person does things. How is this even advice? Does he really think, like, anybody is going to have this idea that they're just gonna do whatever their fucking girlfriend says, no matter the inconvenience?
I told my GF I wouldn't go on a Valentine's date BC I'm not her friend, but we did get coffee yesterday together. Am I gay?
You might be, if you follow Hamza's advice. But thanks for the donation, George. This makes no sense. I don't get it. What? The comments. As a 50-year-old woman, I agree with what you said. I know so many men who struggle for decades to make money, then lose it all chasing the wrong woman. Good luck to you, young man. This has to be a fake account. It's not. She's actually just retarded. This is a real person.
Can't believe that this was a first date.
Let me take a look, TT.
Well, here's an interesting turn of events to start with today. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's Public Sex Act caught on video might end up costing Republicans control of the House of Representatives in 2024. And it really brings me great pleasure to tell you that. Now, this depends on so many different things, but let me give you the gist of the situation. The other day, last week, Lauren Boebert, as you I'm sure have heard by now, was kicked out of a theater performance of Beetlejuice. Initially, there were reports that she was vaping and causing a disturbance, filming the performance, which you're not allowed to do. It later turned out that she was actually engaging in sex acts with her date, fondling his genitals in public. It's on video. It's all pretty wacky stuff. Even though...
Tonight, Republican Congresswoman...
Dude, what? What? Is she 13? Isn't she like in her 40s now? She's fondling her date's genitals at a fucking public play and vaping. Oh my God, talk about a midlife crisis.
Republican voters are known to be extraordinary hypocrites where they will impose their morality on others and claim
I haven't heard of
family,
this.
Christians, all of these different things. There is still a real question as to whether they will still vote for Lauren Boebert anyway, despite her not...
Oh, they will. They fucking will. They'll make up some fucking, mental gymnastics excuse for why it's okay for her to do it and not anybody else.
Embodying that image which they espouse. But let's imagine for a second that at least a few hundred...
Let me tell you exactly how a Trump voter would explain this.
Well, Lauren Boebert, she was fondling her date and vaping in public, which, isn't great, but as a man, she's just, doing what all men want women to do, which is fondle our junk. So she's just being traditional and stuff. So that's okay when she does it because she says she's Christian and follows Jesus. So it's okay if she fondles somebody's genitals. But if a dude were to do that with another dude, well, that's fucking gay. All right, that's fucking gay, and that can't be allowed. That's child predatory, even when two adults do that. So I'm still voting for Lauren Boebert.
Voters in Lauren Boebert's district will choose not to vote for her or vote for her opponent, Adam Frisch, in November of 2024 because of this incident. I think that's reasonable. Remember, she won re-election by fewer than 600 votes, and there's a good Business Insider article that reminds us of the numbers and of all of this. If the margin was 550 something like that votes, 570, call it 600. If 350 voters switch their votes from Boebert to Frisch next November because of this unsavory incident, as they might describe it, this incident alone could make it so that Lauren Boebert doesn't get reelected. Okay, but that's one race.
The best part is her date owns a gay club. She's acting like it was a first date, but they've been secretly dating for months.
Dude, that is fucking hilarious. Oh my God, you cannot fucking make this shit up. It just gets better, eh? Her ex-husband is also a fucking wacko. I heard the 911 call she made. Her ex-husband was beating the shit out of her fucking son. So she, for all the talk about traditional family values and all this crap, all these Republican women are just so fucked. It has to be a cover-up for the relationship issues. It has to be. They say all the shit about traditional family values because they're sucking dudes' dicks in the back of a porn theater. Thank you for that 9014. Excellent
Oh my
spam
God.
as always.
This site is popping with Spanish people. Day 2 of puppet stuff.
Hello again. It is I.
Oh, hi, what's up?
Hey, somebody just sent me a video clip of you saying you'd rather have Ben Shapiro basically run the economy than Sam Cedar.
I don't know 100%. It's close at this point, though. I'm not too sure where Sam Cedar is on most things, but yeah, I don't trust those commie fuckers. I take like somebody who's like center right or center left over somebody who's far left or far right.
Well,
in
I
terms of
mean,
economic policy.
Ben Shapiro, isn't he like a total free market capitalist where he thinks like the government should have no say in the market?
I would be surprised if that was his feeling.
Okay, like from my understanding, Sam Cedar is just very much pro-union. He wants like a mostly free market that has some kind of control, like preventing monopolies and just social programs like free healthcare. You'd rather have Ben Shapiro? Like,
I think I'd probably side with that. I don't know where Cedar is on anything anymore. The more I watch him and the more I watch his show, it seems like he's becoming like increasingly unhinged. But I haven't heard him do econ takes in a while, so I don't know.
I don't know if I'd say unhinged, but maybe like inconsistent for sure. Especially on like policing and gun control. He has a lot of like weird double takes on those things. But
Okay.
Yeah, for real? Like Ben Shapiro, he's kind of a fucking moron.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the far left people are
Yeah, I know.
put in a similar vein.
Like I mean, if I had to choose between Vosh and Ben Shapiro, I'd probably choose Ben Shapiro. But Sam Cedar, as far as economic policies are concerned, like I watch him fairly regularly, so I have a good sense of what he believes in economically. He just wants like very strong workers unions, basically the same sorts of market controls we have now, maybe just ones that are a little stronger on preventing monopolies. And obviously just socialized healthcare, more social safety nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if that is his like position, I would probably side with that.
Okay.
That's pretty much my position. I never know these days. Okay, people around him are getting more and more crazy, so it's hard for me to tell. But
all right. Well, Turkey Tom and I are gonna go eat at a vegan restaurant tomorrow. You want to come?
yeah, I'll fly on up there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you there.
Just message me on Instagram for the deets.
Okay.
All right. Take care, dude.
Bye.
All right. Well, that settles that. It's just wondering.
About costing Republicans the entire House. This is where it gets super interesting. Axios has a new piece looking at the new forecasts for the Senate and for the House of Representatives in 2024. And it turns out that while Republicans may regain control of the Senate in 2024, in the 2024 elections, which would become effective in January of 2025, of course, in the House of Representatives, things seem to be tilting the other way. The other way being Republicans control the House today, but the polling seems to be favoring Democrats in the November 2024 election. Look at the thin margins by which this would be the case. To win back control of the House, Democrats only need to flip a net 5 seats. A new House race analysis from Inside Elections rates 11 seats as toss-ups, 7 held by Republicans and 4 by Democrats. So here's the bottom line.
Well, Destiny was joking. He's not going to fly up to go eat. But yeah, I'm meeting up with Turkey Tom. We've already hung out, so I think we're like sort of friends. We get along pretty well. He's a nice guy.
Very often in these midterm elections or general elections, when it comes to the House, it's not likely to come down to 1 or 2 seats. It's often, listen, one party is plus 30 and there's 10 toss-ups. Even if the party in power loses all 10 of the toss-ups, there's still plus 20. So the scenario where 1 seat determines control is very unlikely. With under a dozen of these toss-ups, and the toss-ups roughly split between Democrats and Republicans, and only a 5-seat margin for Republicans in the House right now, control of the House quite literally could come down to Lauren Boebert's seat. It's not going particularly well for her in terms of fundraising. Now she engaged in a public on-camera sex act. It's chaos. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck Destiny's wife, Melania. She's not my type. Like, she is a very pretty girl, but she's not my type for one thing. And like, I am faithful, so, and she's not vegan. Like, I've said this before. Like, when I have sex, I need some amount of ass, okay? I need to poke around down there a little bit, need to sniff. I don't want to do that stuff with somebody whose ass is filled with rotting animal corpses.
Debating on which DJ name to call myself. Considering either Walking Dead Man, or Dead Guy, or a Killer Tofu reference from the cartoon Doug. Which one sounds good in your opinion? Or the chat's maybe?
I think Killer Tofu. That sounds the best. Most unique too. That's my opinion. Thanks for the donation, Dutchie.
Believe this is going to help her. And so indeed, Lauren Boebert genital fondling in public might be what costs Republicans the House of Representatives in 2024.
That'd be amazing.
And if indeed that is the case,
you know, to be fair, I mean, we have like, we already have, what's her name? Crazy, the other crazy blonde bitch who does CrossFit. Why can I not remember her name? Like, she's having a divorce with her husband. She said insanely crazy racist things in public. She's a QAnon. I mean, if that doesn't cost Republicans, like, I don't know what will. So, I don't know. Her vaping in public and, like, jerking off her fucking boyfriend, I don't know if that's really a big deal for anybody.
Lauren Boebert did nothing wrong. I hit my 300-pound BBW Taco Bell fart-flavored vape in the theater all the time. Sometimes I even fondle my dates' bowels to make them poop in their pants so I can have a nice snack to go with my popcorn. Relax and eat poop.
I'd rather just eat the popcorn than the poop. Poop is more of a sometimes sort of food for me. Don't like to eat it every day, but thanks for the donation, microwave poop.
it would be absolutely hilarious and delightful in
Yeah,
every
Marjorie
single
Green.
way. Because it would be, is it a you live by the sword, you die by the sword? You live by, hey, these are our moral values and Christians and anti-abortion,
illegal
except
penis
it's a
handling.
36-year-old grandmother engaged in public fondling. And then it costs them control. That would truly be a delight. And it couldn't happen to a nicer person, really.
She's a 36-year-old grandmother? What? Holy shit, she's only 4 years older than me and she's a grandmother. What the fuck? That is insane. Like, did she have kids when she was 12?
In all seriousness, we all must vote, including our friends in Lauren Boebert's district. Check out Adam for Colorado. That's Adam Frisch. He almost defeated her in 2022. Let's make it a reality in 2024. One more note about the Boebert incident. In the media, corporate media, etc., the incident is being referred to often as the vaping incident. The vaping was one of the least notable things about that incident. So let's not call it the vaping incident. Let's call it the public genital fondling
Dude, I don't get it. It's like she's 4 years older than me, and she hasn't learned that it's not appropriate to vape in a theater. I don't get what the fuck was going on.
By 36-year-old.
She's like a 13-year-old.
Life Christian grandmother Lauren Boebert. Okay, that's what we should be referring to. It's sort of like
really.
we refer to Trump as the civilly liable rapist, twice impeached, 4 times in.
Like, by the way, the big deal here too is like Republicans keep making a big deal about things like gay pride parade. Oh, it's like exposing the public, especially children, to sex acts and stuff, and it's grooming. And then here's a Republican doing it. It's super hypocritical.
And I seem like I'm preaching and I'm like, some professional here. I'm not. Every relationship video that I make, which I give you advice, trust me when I say that is battled, hardened advice, because I have fucked up so many times when it comes to like being a master.
He's had 3 relationships and every girl broke up with him. He's not like a fucking expert at anything.
Masculine man in a relationship with a feminine woman. It's something that like it's natural for me, but it's something that I've had to learn myself, maybe like you have. Like, you're supposed to be a masculine man, but it was kind of taken away from you. Like your birthright was taken away from you with the war on masculinity and the destruction of testosterone. And so every bit of advice that I give you when it comes to relationships, trust me when I say I have fucked up 10 times, 20 times in every topic imaginable. But when you do act in that masculine, unperturbed, totally loving way for this woman, she will, not only will you develop in the ways that we just spoke about, she'll test you, and that will be a test of your presence. And so literally being in a relationship with a feminine woman will make you more present, more loving, which is an amazing gift that they give to us. But not only that, honestly, you become like so much more of a man where you respect yourself. You actually start to like I look at myself sometimes in awe those times when I've really done well.
Wow, I have an imitator. Last one wasn't even me. That's okay though, he'll never rise to my glory, the true microwave poop. Try as he may, only I have 10 microwaves, each capable of heating 5 logs to a perfect 140 degrees. Melt in your mouth, not in your butt.
That's good to hear, microwave poop. Glad to hear it. Thanks for that donation, dude.
Well, in my relationship, I look at myself like, bro, fuck me. I'm amazing. Obviously this is like the perception you have when you've like passed one of the tests or whatever. And I literally like get hype and I'm thinking, damn, like I was like so loving today.
Here we go with the tests. Again, women aren't testing you. You're just a fucking insecure, fucking crazy weirdo.
That's a challenge. That's like an element of growth that masculine men absolutely love. We love making progress in our goals. And when you get into a relationship with a feminine woman, it gives you like a goal to make progress in. The goal of being more present, more mindful, more aware. The goal of not getting distracted in your own mind, which is so common for masculine men, because for us, it's like a lot of our masculinity, especially in the cultural sense.
Work for us, daddy.
Oh, damn. All right. It's been a while, but I don't think I'm quite rusty yet, so let's do this twerking. Thanks for the donation, Chili Fart. Appreciate it. That was the best twerk ever? Well, thank you. Think all the dieting and training I'm doing is making me a much better twerker.
So I trained insane amounts last week. Like always, I had clocked 9 hours inside the MMA gym on Thursday. Friday I woke up and had the legendary flu Rona fever of 102. Needless to say, I have felt so fucking awful the last couple days.
That kind of sucks. If you're doing a lot of training, your immunity goes down, so you might have caught something. But that sucks, dude. It's not fun to be sick, but thanks for the donation, Sky Gardener. Hope you feel better soon.
It comes from these goals that we set ourselves. It comes from knowing like how to maximize muscle growth. And so that's like, the calculations we're doing in our mind of how many calories we've ate today, and we're putting...
Am I bisexual? Well, I have seen some pretty sexy femboys, so take that for what you will.
On MyFitnessPal and everything, we are very good at like setting a goal and wanting to complete that goal, but inside of that time comes a lot of mental like challenge of us having to write down our goals, of us having to think, okay, how many calories did I have? Okay, I did pull legs, and I took a day off, and then okay, to reach my goal, this is the thing I've got to do today. Okay, I've got to find a place that's got this, I've got to do this work. What did my employee mean when he said this? So as a masculine man, we spend most of our time just inside of our heads. She doesn't want that. What she...
Oh my god, dude. This is just cringe as fuck. Like, I hate to break it to Hamza, you're not a masculine man. This is like, this whole video is gay as fuck. This guy's sitting here with his shirt off with like fucking inflamed nipples. He's probably tugging on him before the video. This like gay ass necklace and jewelry and shit. Get the fuck over yourself.
Wants is that when you're with her, you are here with zero thoughts in your brain.
How did I hurt my foot? I have a green screen thing that I put in the kitchen, and I smashed my foot into it by mistake, and I tore off part of my pinky toe, like the nail, and I ripped open a skin right above the nail. It's pretty bad.
Leading her through this beautiful adventure without overthinking, without getting lost in your own ego. You know, it's a shame that there's, in my opinion, really no good male influencers who talk about this. There's a lot of men online who talk about masculinity, femininity, but the more I actually study it, the more I realize that these men have no idea what they're actually talking about. They just speak of like this like modern day cultural narrative, which maybe like in tomorrow's video on this second channel of mine, I'll explain what really is masculine energy, because no one online has actually taught you this lesson. So at the same time that this video was released, look out for the next video where I explain what masculine energy is. If you want to learn more about this and you want to have the tools and the mindset and the community to attract and keep a beautiful feminine woman, Adonis School is my private community. It's the top link in the description. Just go click that top link right now. You might want to join our private community.
Or you might not want to because all the advice you're going to find there is fucking stupid. Channel 1 is direction, channel 2 is backward forward. Weird. I'm trying to, where the hell even is everything now? I got a new receiver for this Batmobile that I got, because the controller that it came with was fucking gay as shit and sucked. So I figured I'd try putting a 7.4 volt battery into this, even though I think normally it runs at like 4.5 or something. And get a new controller so I can have a good, you know, controller with it. And every time I try to plug in the power, it does weird shit. Like it'll just go. I don't know how to figure this out. That one's 40 minutes. How about we watch The Matrix of Lies? Why not? Got lots of time.
Welcome to this episode of The Common Sense Skeptic, which is going to be a very quick breakdown of a recent podcast that appeared on the Fresh and Fit channel on Rumble on September 8th. Mainly because the FNF channel you may have heard was recently demonetized on YouTube. This is going to be quick and dirty since the team is hard at work breaking down the 400-page indictment document that summarizes the 75,000 pages of evidence currently stacked against the Tates in their Romanian criminal trial.
Whoa! My God. Dude, that is crazy. They're gonna get obliterated, bro. There's no fucking way.
For forming an organized criminal group and
Holy
trafficking
shit.
humans in a continuous form. Andrew Tate has an additional charge of in a continuous form, and Tristan caught an additional charge of instigation to assault or other violence. The indictment was released on June 15th of 2023, almost 3 months before this FNF interview was aired on Rumble. This podcast is an interview between the two FNF chuckleheads and a lawyer that represents the Tates named Joe McBride. The title of this 94-minute live stream, Tate attorney Joe McBride and former Fed expose trafficking victims' lies against the Tates, is a complete violation of an order handed down from a Florida civil court where the Tates and this lawyer were forbidden from mentioning the defendants' names or details at any point in the future. We're guessing whatever Fed they planned on having join them didn't bother to show up. The civil case itself is a violation of a condition of their release into judicial control handed down by a Romanian court that neither defendant and by extension their legal teams are to contact victims and witnesses in the criminal case. This is the most obvious possible example of witness intimidation imaginable. As we normally do with longer interviews, we're going to hit the highlights here, provide context and examples, straighten out some lies, and do away with all the chaff and repetition that McBride obviously uses to brainwash simple minds as he does here with Dumb and Dumber, who do nothing but nod along in agreement as the Tate's public face of their legal squad lies repeatedly to their faces. We'll try to keep this short and sweet, but with this topic, we'll be lucky to keep it under 2 hours. Here we go with introductions.
My name is Joe McBride. I'm an attorney from Brooklyn, New York. I represent Andrew and Tristan Tate amongst some other people. And, we're in this battle. We're in this battle against cancellation. We're in this battle against misinformation, true misinformation, and fighting on the forefront of what it means to be a man. And can you be a man in this world and not be persecuted for it and not go to jail for it?
So right off the bat,
this guy, okay, if this is his lawyer, he's a moron. So he violated their own lawyers violated a court order. He must be fucking retarded. Who do you think is going to win between Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis? Have you seen the face-off between them? I haven't. I have no idea. I don't know who Dylan Dennis is, so I have no idea.
McBride is falsely presenting this case against the Tates as being one of free speech and trying to pretend that their current social media campaigns and branding are relevant to the case at hand. It is not at all relevant.
Fine gentlemen like you who are on this podcast on a regular basis, speaking your mind, not caring what the establishment thinks, people like Andrew and Tristan, politicians like Donald Trump.
McBride now attaching the Tates to Trump to gain support of the MAGA crowd, which has been a very poor tactic that has been backfiring on the Tates. Conservatives don't seem to like international sex trafficking any more than liberals do. Just try to traffic a Texas rancher's daughter and see what happens to you.
So we say divisive things, we speak our mind, and everybody's being persecuted for it. And we have to defend it. We have to defend it no matter what. Without it, free democracy, free corporations, free trade, free anything cannot exist.
Right.
Apparently, in McBride's head, free trade and free corporations are all somehow affected by and wrapped up in this court battle because reasons, none of which have to do with criminal organizations or trafficking in human beings. If this declaration was intentional, that's what a teacher might call a gibberish test, an utterance of complete nonsense to see if the class was paying attention. These two classless clowns were obviously not paying attention because they nodded right along with it.
Yep. Obviously, the Tates have been, the victims of what it looks like to me like a hit job, right? Maybe I might be a little bit biased from being their friends and knowing them personally, then seeing these, charges come out of nowhere, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I've spent a good amount of time with these guys. They're not human traffickers. They're not like, this doesn't make sense.
Here we have Thing One admitting that he spent a good amount of time with his friends, the Tates, and that he doesn't think they're sex trafficking.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted.
I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them.
We'll bookmark that one for later.
Are they being targeted and why?
There is no...
Poop $20. Look at this crazy psycho Florida man. Let me see.
Losing it, Jake.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Let's go!
Dude!
You got tape on you? I know you carry tape.
just a boa constrictor. They're not going to be able to do anything to you. They're not venomous, so yeah, they can squeeze your arm really hard.
Get this off.
Who is this person? The speaking style is boring me. How was your off day and how do you feel?
I feel like $1 million. Pretty damn good. We also did some twerking, which was fun. Somebody paid for a twerk. Haven't twerked in a while, but I've actually improved my twerking because of all the training I've been doing. This is Common Sense Skeptic. He's talking about the Andrew Tate case and his lawyer. I find it interesting. So I will keep watching it unless somebody has other suggestions. Thanks for the donation though, Sam.
Yep. Losing it, Jake. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Let's go!
Dude!
You got tape on you? I know you carry tape.
Get this off. Yep. Losing it, Jake. Oh my god!
But yeah, that's just a boa constrictor. They can't really do anything.
Question about it. There are a multitude of reasons for why they're being targeted. None more easier to ascertain than what they're saying, what their message is.
Okay, the Tates and their female accomplices are not being targeted for their message. They are being targeted, justifiably, for criminal charges as outlined previously. This spin cycle from McBride should actually get...
Scope this out. VG hope all is well. Dirt starts Monday.
You did not send me a link, but if you send me a link, I can take a look at that. Thanks for the donation, Renee. Appreciate it.
Get him disbarred, but he keeps going into deep fantasy here about world governments and world banks.
You have an entire corporate structure, an entire public partnership between the world governments and world banks and corporations that are trying to emasculate men, to lure young men, to change the genders of people at a very young age, to take fathers out of the home, to remove traditional values of any kind. That is a fact, right? And then when you look at Andrew and Tristan and their ability to put out a message on Twitter, on Rumble, on TikTok, whatever it's going to be, and get 10 million men, 10 million young boys who may have not have changed their lives and get those guys to jump up and go to the gym, that kind of power is crucial in the day that we live in. And that kind of power is a threat to the establishment that Andrew refers to as the Matrix.
Yeah.
And this is why they're being attacked. They're being attacked not because of what they've done, it's because of who they are and what they say.
Influence.
Okay, it's clear to me that the reason they have this lawyer isn't because he's actually good at what he does. It's because that's the only guy they can afford. That's what it seems to me, what's going on here. Because they had that other lawyer before. I don't know where the fuck she fucked off to, and then they had some other Romanian lawyer too. I think they're using public defender and this guy, if I had to guess. Because this is some stupid shit.
Yeah, and I think their influence is something that they really fear.
The influence the Tates have is something that's of great concern, absolutely. But not because Tate is telling boys to go to the gym. It's of great concern because Andrew Tate specifically uses his influence and recycled self-help scripts to funnel young boys into his online scam called Hustlers University for $50 a month, with the greater goal of luring them, when they get older, into his secret society called the War Room, where he can make $8,000 a year from them. That supposed positive message for boys, one that is loaded with misogyny against young females specifically, is Tate's first step towards indoctrination, and it's incredibly obvious to outsiders that this is the male equivalent of Tate's loverboy pimp method that he uses to recruit webcam models. The Tates, both of them, tell a person what they want to hear, then groom that person until the Tates can exploit them for money. With the girls, Tate's end goal is webcam sex work. With the young boys and PhD subscribers that Andrew calls losers, the end goal is War Room annual memberships.
How'd you end up meeting them and getting on the team?
Some people in my world, in Tate's world, knew each other, and they said, "Hey, what about this guy? Check him out." They looked at me and said, "It sounds."
Renee Juarez donated $2. Fuck my life. Let me take a look.
Yeah, boy, I got a 50. BMG pistol. Yeah. 50 cal pistol. You see it?
Actually, that snake is a Burmese python. Once my working capital has been rebalanced, you will be able to long to work.
All right, excellent. I'm looking forward to that, Sam. But appreciate the donation again. A Burmese python is the same thing as a boa constrictor, though, isn't it? Let me look that up. Pythons have one more bone in their head than boas do, and some additional teeth. And pythons are found in Africa, Asia. Okay, they are a bit different. Boas and pythons are similar and are often confused with each other. They belong to the Bodidae family of snakes, but they are members of completely separate subfamilies. Okay, you're right. They are different.
I'm bored. Here is 2 quality Jubilee videos. Hopefully you find these sufficient enough for a good react.
I'll take a look at those. Thanks for the donation, Sky Gardener.
Ah! Ah, you gotta wipe your hands when you shoot something like this. Ah. Ah. 50 cal pistol. Yeah. Well, Mark chopping all them boys with shooting with one hand. You gotta shoot something like this. Oh, I want another shot, man. I need another shot. That was nothing. I need another shot. Ah! I got one down here. There you go. One more time. I got one right here. That's mine. That's ours. I'm already ready.
I'd feel uncomfortable with this guy being around me with a gun.
Give me one more. That's it. Yeah. Oh, I like this, y'all. I like this, y'all. I like this. Say hello to my little friend. I like this guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty short barrel for a 50 cal, so you're gonna have a lot of like blast coming from that. Are women and men equal? Ex-Muslims versus Muslims. That sounds interesting.
Ben Shapiro.
Is pride still necessary? Conservative versus liberal gays, middle ground, Jubilee. Yeah, we might watch these later. I want to get through the Tate stuff first. Thanks for the donation, Sky. If not, if we don't watch it tonight, we can react to that tomorrow.
Sounds good. We met up, and you know, the rest is history. It was.
You went to Romania, right?
Yeah, I went to Romania. Went there with Tucker Carlson. I put that whole interview together.
Oh, nice.
So people in Tate's world knew people in McBride's world.
Huh? Well, I got to be at the restaurant at 7, so probably going to leave at like 5:30, 5:45-ish. Yeah.
You know what Tate's world looks like, right? Some of the worst scum that humanity has ever crawled out of its asshole reside in the Tate inner circle. Pimps, traffickers, guys who brag about beating on their girls and show pictures and videos of the bruises they gave them to their buddies in the war room. They forced the women to get branded with tattoos of their pimp's name. People who are now, one by one, getting exposed for their crimes. Like this imbecile who called himself Money Pilot. Within hours of the release of the recent BBC documentary done by Matt Shea, this pilot for Delta Airlines named Jonathan Bowe was suspended from Delta. The company declaring that they had zero tolerance for their employees conducting illicit activities.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of Ann and Tristan when you met them for the first time?
So one thing about Andrew and Tristan, as you guys know, is they are who they are in person and online. And I recognize that immediately. Real recognizes real. So I could tell by the way I interacted with them, by the way I shook their hands, that they were the same people 24/7, 365, and I respect that a lot.
McBride makes this statement that Andrew and Tristan Tate are the same people in real life that you see online. However, that line is in direct conflict with another statement made by Tate's Romanian legal team, where they were trying to convince people that Andrew Tate is playing a character when you see him in his How to Be an Online Pimp tutorials. According to McBride and these two Tate dick riders, Andrew Tate is the same foul-mouthed, misogynistic piece of crap that you see in every video.
Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up bitch, sex.
There was nobody sort of stepping into the gap saying, hey, I'm willing to take on this case, stand up in front of the world and say, you can't do this. What's happening to them is wrong.
Maybe one of the reasons nobody wanted to take this case is because the Tates made this declaration about Romanian lawyers during one of their emergency room broadcasts.
What do men like you look for in their transactional/business attorneys? Flexibility. Don't be a Mr. Follow the rules.
Yeah, no, Mr.
I'm looking for Better Call Saul.
Absolutely.
I'll make it happen. That's what we need. That's what real G's need.
Get me out of jail.
Well, the law says...
The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail!
So before we found our lawyer, we met a bunch of lawyers here in Romania. We were like, look, I mean, speeding was a topic we brought up. And there was this, our lawyer's a G. Shout out to my lawyer. He is a G. But before we found him, we went and interviewed some bimbo in her suit who sat there and started talking about laws to us. Well, if you're banned from driving and you get caught driving, what's going to happen?
I don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law.
And she said, well, then you go to jail. And Andrew looks at her in the face and said, not if I have the right lawyer, I don't. And we left.
Yes, right.
What? You're telling me that I'm going to go to jail?
Then why am I going to hire you?
Failure.
I walked in there and said, listen, I've committed multiple felonies. Am I going to go to jail? Well, probably. Well, then see ya. Bye.
Why would I give you my money?
You're useless. I went into some other man. I was a female. I went to a man's office, said I've committed multiple felonies.
There are things we can do. We could try this. We could try that.
No problem.
I make one call.
You don't go to jail.
There's no problem.
No problem.
We send somebody else to jail.
We send him. He is the new Andrew. He shave his head and he go. I'm like, all right, it's cool.
That is
That's
not a
the lawyer
lawyer.
I want.
That's the lawyer I want.
So nobody wants when you're talking to your legal clients. Don't start talking Mr. Legal Schmiegel because you think you sound smart. Well, I went to law school and it says on page.
We don't care about the law.
It says on page 48 of the Geek Bible that on the .214 that if I'm a nerd, and then Scott Adams called me. No one cares.
How can you help me?
How much
fix
does
my
it
problems?
cost to make this all go away?
Why do you keep making Frank Tufano's videos 5 years later even though you guys stopped interacting years ago? Do you have obsessive disorder or a genuine hard-on for the guy?
Well, Frank Tufano is what you'd call a lolcow. And, I just get entertainment from watching him be miserable.
I'm so pissed. My professor dropped me because I challenged this dumbass girl in my class to a cage fight because she started talking about how vegans abuse their animals. And because of that I got suspended. WTF?
That is lame as fuck, dude. Why, like, how fucking cucked is society when you challenge somebody to a legal sanctioned fight and then you get suspended? That doesn't sound legal to me. You might want to hire a lawyer, because that sounds fucked up. Thanks for the donation, though, Ben. But, yeah, thanks, lol. Yeah, Frank Tufano's just a lolcow, so I'm just gonna keep making fun of him until the milk dries up.
That's what we want to hear.
We're thinking maybe nobody wanted to take these two assholes as clients for good reason. They weren't after lawyers or legal representation, they were after a yes man, and they seem to have found one in Joe McBride.
It's not very often that a man has a chance to show up for two warriors. These are world champion kickboxers, warriors online, chess warriors, the whole nine.
Two world champion kickboxers. Tristan Tate does not kickbox, and Andrew Tate is not a world champion kickboxer.
These are brilliant, brilliant guys.
Can somebody please, in the comments, explain why Tate's chess record is constantly being harped upon? This shyster mentions it a couple of times in this same interview. Not only does Tate's 3-digit chess rating have no relevance to this case, the brothers' claims of
Hi VG. Hope you are doing good tonight. So today, one thing led to another. I got into a discussion where my MAGA dad went into anti-Semitism about Jews control everything. Of course I proved him wrong with stats and he told me that all stats are wrong and you are brainwashed.
Well, that's what all these fucking people have to do. They have to deny facts, right? And the only way to do that is to make up crazy, wacko, stupid conspiratorial claims. So, yeah, your dad's a fucking crazy racist retard, but I think we all already knew that. Thanks for that donation, Ben.
Being chess wizards are completely false. Andrew Tate never won a chess tournament in his life, and his brother, or rather sister, as he's signed into the US Chess Federation.
Yeah, I don't like him either. He's a twink faggot, but still odd AF to be this obsessed with him years later though. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I'm not obsessed. Again, he's just a lolcow, so... Again, I'm gonna keep making fun of him till the milk dries up. Thanks for the donation, lol.
Came in 7th of 10 in the only chess tournament on record for him from the first grade. So Trissy finished middle of the pack, just like his older brother, who in his 2nd grade tournament the same year came in 3rd of 5. As for their kickboxing careers, we also went through this in part 1. ISCA kickboxing records obviously need to be taken with a gigantic grain of salt. McBride insinuates that Tristan is also a world kickboxing champion, when in fact Trissy was only ever a European champion in a relatively minor league among a very small field of competitors, and he can't even fight anymore due to his shoulder injury. These are the facts.
Yeah, people are really confused as to what's going on, what's civil, what's criminal, what lawyer's defending what's going on.
I am one of the lawyers. I am the public face. I am the point of intersection for a lot of the legal team.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds like they got rid of that one female lawyer that was working for them, and now they got this fucking moron.
And strategies and PR people that talk to each other.
So again, McBride claims to be the point of intersection for all these different legal teams. However, McBride cannot practice law in Romania. Something else to keep in mind moving forward.
What is the main distinction between the U.S. case versus the Romanian case?
So the Romanian case is a Romanian criminal case. They've been accused of a few different things in a Romanian court of law, and they have to prove their innocence according to the rules in a Romanian court.
Oh, if only that were true. Because of all the defendants in the history of criminal trials, these two brothers in crime would be the least likely of any of them to ever be able to meet that bar. No, Joe, just as in the US and most of the Western world, the presumption of innocence is a core tenet of the Romanian judicial process as well. It's Article 23 of the Romanian Constitution. Yes, Romania has a constitution. That may be news to some people.
They have a very good legal team out there, which I work with and consult with on a regular basis. But that is a Romanian criminal case under Romanian law. In the United States, in Florida, we have sued one of the women and some of the people who were involved in the Romanian case. So let me explain. There's this woman named Emma, and she's from Florida.
Joe McBride, you've just violated the Florida order of pseudonym on your civil case twice. Once by naming the victim, the other by identifying where she's from.
And she went to Romania after basically soliciting Tristan to go there and to start.
I didn't think about using his logic against him and telling him that, do you know that Holocaust deniers say the same thing, until I was at work. I'm suspecting that he's a Holocaust denier, and I wish I could have exposed him for the neo-Nazi piece of shit that he is.
He still works, eh? Yeah, if you really want to fuck him over or something, I mean, you could maybe tell his employers about that or record one of these conversations. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
Over for whatever reason.
Now, this statement is pure fabricated garbage. The chat logs obtained directly from Tristan's devices demonstrate how Tristan fished this victim off of Reddit. Yes, Reddit. And then through a matchmaker site. The transcripts demonstrate that Tristan contacted Emma. This is all in the indictment released June 15th of 2023. There are also chat logs between the victim and her parents, chats where she had already identified the fact that other women in that home were being trafficked, and she had already identified Tristan and Andrew as terrible, evil people.
She gets to Romania and she's there for a total of 6 days. 6 days, and in that time, she figures out that she's not going to be the end all be all over there. She starts trouble over there.
Jealous of the other women that are there, etc.
Insanely jealous.
Jealousy played no role here. In fact, this victim took pity on another girl and planned to escape the locked house with her, having purchased airline tickets for both of them to get them to London.
Insanely jealous, and then accuses them of human trafficking.
Yeah.
And gets the embassy involved, and this big thing explodes.
More fiction. The embassy was not called by Emma. It was called by her parents, who were afraid that Emma's attempt to escape the house might be dangerous for her and her friend. Emma did not contact the police directly, and therefore did not accuse the brothers of anything at all prior to the raid. Her statements and the statements of other witnesses after the raid caused DICOT to open an investigation, and over the course of that investigation, the authorities determined what charges were to be filed against the Tates and their accomplices in this case. This is blatant misrepresentation of Emma's role in these events. Next up, Abbott and Costello flash up the first page of the civil action against the victims and Emma's family, with all their names exposed, again enabling that lawyer to breach the pseudonym order of the court on this matter.
In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, Civil Division, Tristan and Andrew are the plaintiffs. And then you got here Emma Gabby, an individual. Just so you guys know, Emma Gabby is the main.
So this is interesting because Andrew Tate has a criminal network, and it's been proven, he's openly admitted to this, where he sent thugs, gang members, to people's houses to beat the shit out of them, threaten them, intimidate them to take videos down about him. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using this lawyer to find out this woman's identity, her address, so that they can actually get a gang of thugs or something to either kill her or intimidate her.
Oh my bad, I had the thought of using his logic when I was at work, lol, sorry for the confusion. My father is retired and he collects Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and a pension from a union that he was a part of, so nothing could be done to him.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, your dad's a fucking moron, dude. Hopefully he doesn't live too long, and then you can get all his shit. Appreciate the donation, Ben.
Main chick that he's referring to right now. And then Aliona is I think she's from Moldova, but she lives in England. She's I think she's a dancer, an exotic dancer. And she was the one that made the accusation against Andrew.
This is another attempt, this time by the interviewer, to slander one more victim in this case. Even if Aliona was an exotic dancer, what of it? Here's the thing though. Nowhere in this indictment is it mentioned that the victim was a dancer, exotic or otherwise. This is more likely fake news, just as it was when Andrew Tate accused another one of his victims of working in a sex club just to get a reaction out of her to impress his War Room disciples. We're going to go through her entire story in the finale of Matrix of Lies. So far as this victim is concerned, all the grooming text conversations between Andrew and Aliona indicate that Andrew intended to marry her once she arrived in Romania. That, of course, is not what happened. The accusation...
Kid Boo donated $2. Let me take a look.
How nice it is to see all of my boys under one roof. Oh, white God is good, ain't he? We got so much catching up to do. Now, Uncle, did you know that Daryl is an accountant for a white finance company and just got a promotion from his white boss? Ooh, isn't that amazing?
That's wonderful, Daryl. A white man promoted you. Congratulations. Oh, it's really not that big a deal.
And Darrell here owns his very own motorcycle shop, and he's married to a white woman. Oh, she's the most beautifulest white woman you've ever seen, and she has his name tattooed right here on her white titty.
Mama, that's personal. I can't believe it. My own brother with his name tattooed across a white woman's milk glands. Congratulations.
Speaking of accomplishments, what you accomplished, boy?
Hush, mister. I'm proud of Uncle. He lives in this beautiful neighborhood around some lovely white people.
He live in a shack on the outskirts of town.
He works hard.
And still...
Yeah, Boondocks is funny. Thanks, Kid Boo.
Against Tate that Fuckknuckle is referring to here are the and a continuous form charges, which the authorities charged Andrew with according to Romanian law. One of those involved physical and emotional violence, as we outlined in our episode Matrix of Lies Part 3.
What's relevant about the American case is this. Florida has very strong defamation laws. And if you publish a defamatory statement to the public where you know it's going to hurt somebody's interest, it's going to hurt their reputation, and if you publish it and it actually has an effect on somebody's life, you have a case, right?
So let's stop you right
No, it's only if it's knowingly false.
there to counter why you don't have a case. To start with, there's a serious flaw in your logic because Emma did not publish anything about the Tate brothers to the public. And even if she did, in order for it to be defamatory, what she said would have to be false. However, what Emma told her parents was happening at the house was absolutely taking place.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck, I don't know what this guy, like, what they're thinking. Like, the only thing I could imagine is they did this deliberately so that her identity is out in the public. Either to just intimidate her with a lawsuit and everything, or they might actually be thinking of hiring thugs to go after her.
Making the raid on a complex to free her, absolutely justified. So this asinine civil lawsuit of yours falls flat on its face right out of the gate.
She lied.
Yep, my brother and I can't wait for that day, and you'll know it. Smile. I'll make a generous donation to the Leguminati. I'm still very hopeful for the day coming soon, since he's anti-vax and people over 65 unvaxxed have a 9x greater risk of dying from COVID.
Yep, and there's a new COVID wave coming, it looks like, so hopefully the odds are against your dad. Thanks for the donation again, Bendover.
In Romania. She sent text messages to people who are in Florida, mother, friends, so on and so forth, saying that I'm being held against.
What? Everywhere, there's just new cases popping up.
My will. This is going on, that is going on. It was all lies. Those people then took it and republished it to other people in their life, which ended up in having Andrew and Tristan arrested in Romania on these charges. It is illegal to defame somebody.
Since it is, in fact, illegal to defame somebody, this celebrity ambulance chaser should watch his words, because as we are going to cover in the breakdown of the 400-page indictment document, nothing McBride is saying here is supported by evidence at all. The trafficking and webcam operation that Emma described to her parents is confirmed over and over and over again in transcripts of text conversations between Tristan, Georgiana, and Luana. They confirm exactly what Emma told her parents was happening at that house. And in the end, all Emma wanted to do was cut her losses on this trip and get out of the house.
It is illegal to defame somebody, and there is no greater impact that you can have on somebody's life than the deprivation of their freedom.
That's absolutely true. Meaning there's no greater harm that the Tates could have done.
No
to
lawyer
deprive these
could
victims
get Andrew
of
Tate off. The evidence against him is way too damning and overwhelming.
their freedom. See how that works? In the text messages back and forth between Andrew and Alyona, she was told repeatedly she was not to leave the house, not to shop, not to go to the park, nothing. And she was not only told she couldn't leave the house, she was told that was the final warning. That's deprivation of her freedom, which is exactly what the authorities were told was happening at that house before they raided it.
In their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. Like, oh, Tate's away, so they go out with their friends. No. You don't go to the club with your friends. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
This woman's false
Jesus.
allegations against Andrew and Tristan in the United States wound up in having them incarcerated in Romania, which not only took away their freedom, it took away their ability to operate as businessmen. It took away their ability to be fathers to their children, brothers and friends to the people who depend on them, so on and so forth. That is a very serious thing. She is the but-for causation. Without her, none of this ever happens.
And the only thing that we can really add here is thank God for Emma's parents and friends. They made the right phone call to the American Embassy at the right time, and they shut down the Tate trafficking ring. They freed their daughter, they freed a serial rape victim, and 2 other girls who were brainwashed to the point where they can't even recognize their own victimhood.
The Romanian government interviewed a bunch of different people in the case, and two of the girls that they used as witnesses against Andrew and Tristan actually said, "Hey, Andrew and Tristan are great." They have subsequently went out to make videos.
Yeah.
These are they're stand-up guys. They would never. The Romanian authorities at the time said, "Well, we don't. You've been brainwashed, sweetheart. So you don't really know what you're saying. So we're just going to take this paternalistic approach to you and just say, you know, we're going to speak for you for the time being." And she's like, "I have a psych degree. I have not been brainwashed. What is happening is wrong. It is a lie. These men are innocent. You should take what I'm saying very seriously." But they didn't do that.
Here's why they didn't do that. When the girls were interviewed by DICOT, both girls gave demonstrably false statements that completely contradicted each other regarding how they knew each other and how they knew and met the other people in the operation. And then those stories conflicted again with statements made by Gio and Lou. Further, these girls were instructed by Andrew, through their cousin Luke, to make videos about Andrew and Tristan like this one.
I've never seen any of them being aggressive
That's funny.
or rude. They've always respected people.
Nu, n-am fost niciodată. Dacă eram amenințată, automat nu mai eram idiotă să stau în casă. Pe mâna stângă tatuajul ăsta care scrie Tate Girl.
The conversation transcripts where Andrew is directing Luke to do this are evidence in the Romanian indictment. There's ample evidence that both of these girls, Yasmina and Beatrice, who have made themselves known, were trafficked. Both of them groomed by Andrew, Yasmina from May 2021 to December 2022 when the compound was raided, and Beatrice for almost 2 years from February 2021 to December of 2022. These women are actually very lucky the court considers them to be victims instead of accomplices, because both these particular girls facilitated the first rape of Aliona in a hotel room by plying her with wine and softening her up before Andrew came into the room to have his way with all three of them.
Before we sued in Florida.
It's so bizarre how people are like manipulated in that kind of way where they can do things that are just completely against their own interests. I do not get it, but human beings are fucking weird, man. It is so strange how that can happen. But yeah, that's fucked up.
We dug down on this woman. She got a pass? A pass.
A pass.
Oh,
yeah.
Does she have a pass? She's got a body count. She's got a body count, and you see a modus operandi.
Note the term body count. This is misogynist Tate terminology. See, according to the top groomer, a man can screw anything that moves without repercussion. But if a woman has slept with more than one man, she's considered to be damaged goods, according to Tate.
A man can only cheat if he loves someone else. If I have a woman who I truly love, and I go out and and I come back to her, and I don't care about her, and I only love my girl, that's not cheating. That's exercise. If she even talks to a dude, it's cheating. Because females are emotionally invested.
Can I ask you something about the body count thing? Because we want the audience to know, so we need you to dive into it.
I said that a lot of the world's problems could be fixed if women walked around with their body counts on their forehead.
And now Tate's lawyer is using that same kind of terminology to attack a victim.
She's got a body count, and you see a modus operandi.
This despicable man will now go on at some length, making the same mistake that Candace Owens did when that sad sack of a human released her own video doing the exact same thing. Defaming a girl who was a minor, abused by a series of men more than twice her age, one of whom was Keith Fox, a 58-year-old sexual predator convicted of statutory rape of 2 minors that was sent to prison for 24 years. Now, McBride is going to go through several minutes describing other inappropriate relationships that Emma had with these older men, all of whom had sex with her despite her being underage. In the interest of time and decency, we are not going to go through any of that content, for one simple reason: it does not matter. As a minor, she was considered to be, by the law, incapable of consenting to sex, which is why the term statutory rape is applicable here. It is incumbent upon the older party in a sexual relationship to know for certain that their sex partner is older than the age of consent. So none of her past history.
A question, are all these women shorter and smaller than the Tate brothers?
Yeah, they are. Like, Andrew Tate's a pretty big dude. He's not huge, but he's bigger than any woman. I think he's around 6 foot and around 200 pounds. So yeah, there's no women who are going to be close to his size. Like he's also a better than average kickboxer. He's not a world champion, but he's like a middling professional kickboxer. So, like, when you see Andrew Tate's physique, I mean, there aren't really any women who are going to be able to stand up against him, clearly. So, yeah. He might be taller than 6 foot. He actually looks a bit taller. Not sure. But, yeah, he's way bigger than all those women. Thanks for that donation, Sam. Mike donated, once all the boomers in Congress die off, will America start to become a better place? Also, Nancy Pelosi is running for re-election, and look up her age. Nancy Pelosi age 83. Jesus fuck, dude. What's the deal with yeah, they're looking like the fucking Crypt Keeper. Yeah, Crypt Keeper over here. What's the deal with all these American politicians being so fucking old? Let's see, Nancy Pelosi young. She was alright when she was younger. She has tiggled bitties. Really tiggled bitties. Thanks for the donation, Mike.
Sexual or otherwise, matters at all. The only thing that matters were the Tates and...
Thoughts on the Russell Brand drama? I can guarantee you with nearly 100% certainty that that guy is guilty as fuck and he is a rapist. That's my thoughts on the drama. There's a number of facts about the situation that, in my mind, confirm it. So, for one thing, the rape wasn't technically reported to the police, but she did go to the hospital and get a rape kit. She was just too afraid to actually testify to the police about the rape. Secondly, these women don't have any relationship with each other, and multiple women have come forward sharing a similar story, talking about how he was very cold, heartless, his eyes would glaze over. Multiple women said that. When you get very similar stories from multiple women saying something like that, or multiple victims, again, in all likelihood, it's true. If it's just one person, it's like, okay, who knows? When it's like 4 people who've come forward sharing a similar story, it probably happened. Where there's smoke, there's fire. One of the accounts also mirrors one of his stand-up routines. So Bill Cosby, you know, he had that Spanish Fly bit joking about how he'd like drug women, rape them. He did that. Russell Brand, it seems, also did a similar thing. A girl claimed that he was physically, like, sexually violent to her in bed, where he, like, literally tried to choke her with his dick. And she started crying, and then Russell Brand said, "Oh yeah, that's why I did it. I wanted to see you cry." He made a stand-up routine joke about that. So, yeah, that sounds like some Bill Cosby shit, where he's admitting guilt, just subtly enough where, you know, might not draw suspicion. And his reaction to the whole thing, like, again, an innocent person, in my mind, would probably say something along the lines of, look, this just didn't happen. Either, I don't know why these women are coming forward saying this. Maybe there's some sort of misunderstanding or bitterness, but, like, this was consensual, or I didn't know this woman, or this or that. He just tried to, rather than disprove the claims in some sort of logical manner or share his side of the story, he just tried to obfuscate guilt and say, oh, the only reason they're making this up is because that I got too close to the truth. That's what he said. So he's basically saying the Matrix is out to get him. So yeah, Andrew Tate type shit. There's also a text message where he apologized to this woman after having a sexual encounter with her. I have never had a sexual encounter with a woman where I had to apologize afterwards. So that sounds rapey to fucking me. So all that together, Russell Brand, yeah, like almost guaranteed. That guy is a fucking rapist. And he's also like a crazy, delusional, wacko, liar, cult leader, basically. It's not a stretch to imagine that this guy would have the mindset where it's okay to do these sorts of things. Like, he's too stupid to understand, like, what consent is, shit like that.
And this victim are concerned is the timeline of events beginning November 2021, when Tristan fished this victim off of Reddit, and ending on April 11th of 2022, when the victim was rescued by the Dicot breach team.
You see a long history of this person using sex as a means to lure men in, and then after she has sex with men, she revokes consent post facto.
She was underage. She can't revoke consent after the fact. She was underage. There was never any consent to begin with, according to Florida law.
Doing it for like 10 years.
Yeah. It's worth noting here with regards to this case that Emma has made no accusation of rape. The sole charge where she is mentioned is as a trafficked victim under Tristan, along with 2 other victims. And the conversations where Tristan groomed this victim are completely documented and transcribed from Tristan's personal devices. Another fabrication that slanders this particular victim.
She's been doing it for like 10 years.
Yeah. Damn.
10 years, Joe? Emma was 15 years old in 2016 when Keith Fox was sent away, which makes her 22 years old in 2023. McBride says Emma has been executing a particular modus operandi for the past 10 years. That would make her 12 at the outset. This moron lawyer actually makes that same statement several times during this interview.
Yeah. And when you connect it, you see a 10-year scheme. She thought that she could just continue to do what she was doing in America and go to Romania and do it there.
Yet another instance of repetition of lies, hoping that somebody eventually believes them.
Andrew and Tristan could not be more innocent.
Yeah.
You don't have to like everything that they say. You can hate what they say.
Yeah.
But just because you hate what somebody says, that does not rise to the level of criminality. Yeah. And you shouldn't be deprived of your freedom or want to deprive somebody of their freedom simply because they have an opposing viewpoint on politics, religion, faith, gender, whatever it is. Turn the other cheek, start a podcast, write a book, challenge them to a debate. Don't throw them in jail.
More deflection. This case is not about politics or any other free speech nonsense. That's a smokescreen that the lawyer is throwing up with the intent to deflect. As the lawyer for 4 additional rape victims in the UK that are civilly suing Andrew Tate pointed out, talk of the Matrix and false flags hold no weight in court. The survivors look forward to seeing him there.
Query, because I think people don't care because it's not them. But what if it's your brother, your father, your uncle?
How about we flip that around for you, you imbecile? What if the woman being trafficked was your sister, your mom, your aunt? What if your daughter was the person that McBride was just slandering in the previous segment? What would your response be then? Why was your first thought to defend the male relatives and not the female? Maybe think on that for a minute, because that tells the world a lot more about you than you realize. But moving on, here are some false statements about the judges in the case and how they're handling it.
The judges over there don't seem to be very influenced by outside policies. We've recently looked at the case file against Andrew and Tristan, and they let them out after months of incarceration. It's not very often that you see 1 or 2 men who are accused of, leading.
That's just bullshit. They were incarcerated for a long time, and they had a conditional release.
An organized crime ring of human traffickers, and then they get let out and put back out on the street.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourselves, well, why has that happened?
Right.
Well, it happened because there came a point in time where the judges were actually able to look at the file, and they were saying, and they have said, which is demonstrated by their release, there's a lot of problems with this. And unless there's more, we're not going to hold him in. That is an indication of innocence. That is an indication of problems with the Romanian case.
Another example of repetition of lies. And we've seen in the public sphere how tater tots glom onto statements like this to believe that Tates are innocent. McBride is intentionally misleading the audience to believe that his clients, who are out on judicial control, which is similar to being out on bail, are free men, and that is not the case. The brothers have to sign in daily at the local police station, and they are not allowed to leave Bucharest County of Ilfov. They are not innocent, and the trial is moving forward. Having read through the indictment, we can tell you there are no problems with this case or the evidence, and the relaxation of house arrest is in no way whatsoever indicative of innocence, as McBride has falsely stated here.
So you have to ask yourself, well, why haven't they thrown out the case in Romania altogether? If it's weak, and it is weak, we can discuss it in with great particularity. The reason why that hasn't happened is
literally thousands of pages of evidence against him, but yeah, it's weak. I'd love to see what a strong case looks like.
Because there is this believe all women captain in soy boy army prosecutor who has a personal vendetta for one reason or another against Andrew and against Tristan.
Note to self, when representing the public face of your defendant, try to avoid direct personal insults against the legal representative of the state.
Did you read Ashton Kutcher's character witness letter defense on Danny Masterson? No, did not. Jeffrey Gonzalez, natty or not? Never heard of that guy. Let me take a look. Not entirely sure. I think he's probably just 5 foot tall. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's kind of either or. I think he's probably just really short and stocky. That'd be my guess. Who knows?
Calling the Romanian lawyer a believe all women captain in the soy boy army prosecutor is not going to earn you any points with the judge. The Romanian prosecutor has a job to do, and he's doing it well. Far better than this fat, balding, clout-chasing See? Two can play the insult game.
So what you have with the Romanian prosecutor is something that's very typical. It's tunnel vision. He has a vision, and he believes that he's right, and no one's going to tell him otherwise. It is my hope that the Romanian justice system and the court sees this for what it is, looks at the file based on its merits and facts, and does not listen to this guy, because this guy shouldn't be listened to. This guy's not a good person. He's targeting them, and people need to know about it.
And again, telling the judge that the prosecutor is not a good person and the courts should not listen to him, well, it seems to us the prosecutor is the type of stand-up legal representative for the state that the Tates were not able to buy off, like Tate has so often bragged he was able to do.
You can't give me problems. I find my way out. Haven't you noticed? Haven't you seen my life? Court case, court case, court case. Here I am, camping. You can't lock me up. I'm too fucking rich. You can't tell me to stay home. I'm too rich. Can't make me wear a mask. Can't make me get dance. Can't tell me where to go. Can't tell me shit because I'm fucking rich.
Dude, this is just such a bad thing to do. This is going to be played in court to show that he has no remorse and he's just a fucking asshole.
If the Tates hate this guy, we're probably going to love him.
One of the good distinctions about Romania is what is treated far more serious than in the United States is if you falsely accuse him in court, and we can prove that you falsely accused him in court, then it's your ass.
Okay.
Then you're in trouble. It's like perjury +1 in the United States.
Okay.
So let's talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Emma Gabby goes into Romanian court. She files a false complaint and testifies falsely. She falsely accuses Andrew and Tristan in court. Because
it's funny he says that because those two other women are proven liars that are defending Tate.
Romanian law is so strong on somebody's accusations, cases formed against them, and they eventually wind up in jail.
McBride has just told the class he does not understand how the criminal investigation process works. The charges against the Tate brothers and their accomplices, let's not forget them, were brought against them by Dicot, not by Emma. An 8-month investigation, started April of 2022 when the house was raided and Emma was freed, resulted in a compilation of evidence against the Tates that was submitted in December of 2022, resulting in another raid on several Tate properties. The investigation continued and was cemented into the indictment that was filed in June of 2023. None of that has anything whatsoever to do with Emma. Once her statement was taken, it's up to the state to decide to move forward with charges, and Emma is just one of 7 victims identified in this action.
Since we're talking about DICOT real quick, it's also worthy to note that DICOT is filled with good people. They're getting a bad reputation in the press, but I actually think that DICOT is more honorable than the FBI.
So a small correction here, DICOT is not getting a bad reputation over this. If anything, they've earned some international brownie points for making these arrests and conducting a very thorough professional investigation.
There are good people over there who care about the truth and care about justice. They took her allegations very seriously because they're just not accustomed to women coming in their court lying about human trafficking.
Yeah.
Right? So they took it seriously.
Again, you're making the gigantic mistake of telling people these charges are based on the words of a single girl. And even if that was true, do you honestly believe?
Have you ever heard of Jeff Jackson, Dem congressman from North Carolina? I like his delivery on hot-button issues in politics. Check out this clip of his take on impeachment/gov shutdown.
Don't think I've ever heard of him. Let me see.
Haven't heard from me for a few weeks because we were out of session and there wasn't much to tell you, but we're back now, and the news is that we are headed for a government shutdown and a presidential impeachment. The first thing that happened when we all got back last week was one of the leaders of the right flank gave a big speech on the floor of the House. It was a speech directed to the leader of his own party in the House, the Speaker. He basically said, "Hey, Mr. Speaker, if you pass a budget that our group doesn't like, we'll fire you. We've got the votes to end your speakership, and we will call a vote every single day until you're gone." But what he really meant was, look, we know you're going to pass a budget this year, and we're not going to like it. So you have to give us something we want, or we'll fire you. The number one thing they want is a shutdown, because a shutdown comes with a ton of media attention for them. And as I've told you, for a lot of them, media attention is the whole ballgame. But what changed last week was the right flank basically saying that a shutdown wouldn't be enough. They wanted something more: impeachment. The Speaker really didn't want to give them that, but he did. Technically, he just began the impeachment investigation, but if he doesn't go through with impeachment at the end of the investigation, the right flank will just threaten to fire him again, and he'll do it. So basically, in exchange for being able to pass a budget at some point this year, the Speaker is trading his right flank a shutdown and an impeachment. The reason the Speaker doesn't want to do either of those things is he's worried they're going to hurt his party in the next election, and he wants to grow his majority. Right now, he only has a majority by 5 votes, which has made his life a living nightmare, because it means he just gets taken hostage over and over again by his right flank. Meanwhile, his right flank knows that if he's successful in growing their majority, ironically, it just means less power for them, which is why they're fine forcing the Speaker to do things that could backfire in the next election. Having a narrow majority lets them remain the decisive faction. And if forcing a shutdown for media attention seems like a really weird strategy, it's because you're not the target audience. The target is voters who get almost all of their news from certain cable news shows.
That's interesting. That guy seems pretty smart. Didn't know that. Why that's happening. Thanks for that donation, Ben.
Do you think the panda was actually thinking this?
Where's an acorn on my... Wait. Oh, what the heck is that thing, dude? Why is there an acorn on my... Wait. It's not an acorn. It's a... Oh my god, is that what I think it is? Is that a wiener? Dude! Oh my gosh, I'm a dude! I'm a man! Oh! I'm a man! I'm a panda man! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about! Alright, listen. There's gonna be some kung fu panda. Wait a minute. Come here, little acorn buddy.
No, and that was pretty cringe. Thanks for that donation, though, Pika.
Professional law enforcement, looking into crimes such as this on a regular basis, would not have some interviewing techniques specifically designed to find holes in her story before conducting raids on a walled compound that is known to house weapons.
We're trying to get the Romanian court to take notice of the fact that Emma's actually the wrongdoer, and the Romanian system is also a victim of her scheme.
Here we go again with the victim blaming. Typical gutter lawyer tactic.
Can we cover the 6 days or what led up to the 6 days?
Sure. Emma meets Tristan on a dating site.
Okay.
Right? So, Tristan's like any other dude. He's in Miami. He's scrolling away, and she looks good. And I like you. You like me. She's like, he's a good-looking guy. She's like, I like him. They meet up.
We're going to make a suggestion to Joe McBride here. Joe, you should really read the court documents and the conversation logs, and then watch the Tate pimp tutorials on your client's webpage. Then move into the war room transcripts. It is the men who contact the women through these sites. As was the case here, it's all in the chat logs, and Tristan the pimp laid the honey on Emma really thick. McBride implies that Tristan was bored and scrolling profiles in Miami in December. In fact, messages between Tristan and Emma had begun several weeks prior, in November, and they decided in those conversations to hook up in Miami when Tristan arrived for his business conference at the end of the month. It's very likely that Emma was targeted by Tristan due to the fact that she was in Miami, and Tristan had already made travel plans to get to Miami.
Mm-hmm. She comes to a war room event in Miami.
Oh wow, that must have been when they were here with us
on the boat.
December of 22? 21.
Yeah, December 21. That was when they were here. I think it was when we did our...
Have you seen this hit piece on you?
You linked me the panda video again. I think you mean the internet anarchist video. Yeah, we already reacted to it. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to do a response video. It's not going to be super long, like most of it's just bullshit, but thanks for that donation tool. Dodo donated $2. Let me take a look. Thanks. That's great, Dodo.
Our Avengers pod. Around that time.
This is interesting. Shrek and Donkey say they were on a boat with the Tates the same weekend there was a war room event in Miami. That weekend when Tristan was attached to Emma's hip, as the 32-year-old man at the time was grooming his 19-year-old victim. As Tristan's arm piece, Emma was invited to that event for the war room, while Tate disciples had to pay thousands of dollars to attend.
I didn't know that. He met her in Miami physically here.
Yeah, she preys on guys in Miami.
She's cold-blooded, bro.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded. So
Damn.
it could have been you.
Yeah. They knew each other.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Dude, they known each other for that. I didn't know they knew each other that long.
They talk for a bit online. She represents herself as an affluent, young, aspiring artist. She presents well. She meets Tristan. One thing leads to another. They hook up. They have fun. And off he goes, back to his life, and he starts to travel again. They talk periodically over the course of that time. She is interested in leaving to Romania because she knows that he's there. He's like, yeah. And Tristan even says, hey, look, you got a good life. Why do you want to leave? Oh, the politics here are too much. America's too aggravating.
Again, McBride needs to read the conversations between these two. They're all published. By December 6th of 2021, Tristan was already suggesting to Emma that she move to Romania with him. Tristan wanted her there by January, but the victim didn't actually arrive until April of 2022. Again, we're going to cover all this in the breakdown of the indictment, so for now, we're simply going to say McBride's Emma origin story here is complete fiction, and if his clients try telling this story in court, they're going to be strung up by the Romanian prosecutor very quickly.
He says, okay, you want to come? Come. So she's like, okay, can I have your credit card so I can book a flight? She grabs his card, books herself a business class flight out to Romania, and she's there for a few days. And the first couple days, everything is fine. And she realizes that she's not the only beautiful girl in town. She tries to exert influence over him like she would do other guys, but he's not easily intimidated.
Yeah.
He just says, hey, listen, you're here, have a good time, everything is all right. She tries to get involved in Andrew's personal business. Please don't get involved in my brother's business. That's not your lane. Stay in your lane. You came here to do something good. Do it. 2 days later, she's accusing him of human trafficking.
So she calls the U.S. Embassy. So she's there at the house, and she calls the U.S. embassy, or did she call her family
all
first?
lies.
Well, she called her family. So we mentioned her boyfriend in Florida. So she reaches out to him.
So she calls her family and her boyfriend. Yeah.
Right. So he comes in like real hot.
White
Like,
knight. Riding on a horse.
Captain Saberhope.
Literally. When meatheads like McBride make derogatory statements like this at somebody else's expense, and interviewers like Heckle and Jekyll here laugh along with him, that's when our hackles really go up. There's a lot of Tate interviews out there like that, where the interviewers are laughing along, as Andrew Tate describes exactly how he trafficked women. So many red flags going through the archives, and nobody said boo. Nobody standing up to him or reporting him to the authorities. Now we've got McBride calling the victim a hoe in the public sphere, and they're all having a good laugh at her expense. Just remember that, McBride, when Emma and the other victims get the last laugh on your clients.
He comes in like, you're being human trafficked. This is what's going on. You need to go to the embassy. We need to get the embassy involved.
Yeah.
So she literally tells him, please don't do this. I take it all back. Don't get the embassy involved. Don't do this. Don't do that.
So McBride refers to Emma's boyfriend in Miami, insinuating that Emma was being unfaithful to this man by visiting Tristan in Romania. This story goes on for several minutes where these three pricks make one accusation after another about her. The man in question is a United States Marine who appeared to be a friend of the family contacted by Emma's parents after their text chat with Emma earlier. However, in the transcripts that McBride refers to, in the complaint document, there is no indication this man was a love interest of Emma's at all. There's no love language between these two in the plaintiff's submission either, despite insinuations being made in that regard by McBride. If McBride has any evidence of a romantic relationship between Emma and the Marine, Joe failed to include it in his complaint document. Paragraph 89 calls the Marine a former or current lover. Paragraph 91 accuses the Marine of being in love or infatuated with Emma, when in fact what the Marine is doing is looking out for Emma, who doesn't fully realize the dangerous situation she's in. From part 3 of Matrix of Lies, we know that another girl who tried to leave the house was thrown out into the cold with none of her belongings in her underwear in a very shady part of town by Gio and Lou, who not only threatened to cut that victim's tits off in a private conversation, but intended to do damage to the recent plastic surgery sutures on the victim. In light of that evidence, the Marine was absolutely taking appropriate measures. Messages between them show the Marine urging Emma to get to the U.S. Embassy, where there is a USMC security detail. The U.S. Embassy is 3 kilometers from the Tate compound as the crow flies, but significantly further away by road. The Marine followed his chain of command and followed the instructions given him by one of his contacts. Further, the Marine is specifically trained for this scenario, aware that there are protocols in place. He tells her, "It's my literal job, Em." In contrast, Emma believes that she and her friend can sneak out quietly without anybody noticing to get to the nearby airport for their 6 a.m. flights to London that Emma paid for, and Aliona's family was in London. Emma is trying to avoid being caught in the middle of an armed raid, which is why she's asking the Marine to tell the embassy to stand down. Nothing in the presented conversations back and forth between these two contradicts this narrative, no matter what romantic insinuations are presented by the plaintiffs without evidence. In the end,
it's literally killing me how I have to wait for this case to happen. I just want to see them go to fucking jail. It's gonna be hilarious if any of this gets filmed. Like the look on Tristan and Andrew's face when they're carted off to prison for 20 years. These people are such pieces of shit.
Hello, VG. I'm in Puerto Rico and recently started filming street veganism debates like this as activism. Can you react if you have time? Any tips? Appreciate you.
How are you doing today?
Thanks for what you do for the animals.
Sure, can do a little reaction. Thanks for the donation, Harry.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Virginia originally. In the States.
Okay, cool. So I have a question. What's your stance against your stance about animal abuse?
Well, I definitely don't support it. Yeah.
Do you eat animals?
Some. I don't eat red meat and I don't eat pork. I eat organic chicken and wild caught fish.
Okay, and do you think there's any
Here
sort
we
of
go.
ethical issue with that, with eating?
I can guarantee you this bitch eats McDonald's. So, yeah. Here we go with that. I only eat organic.
chickens and fish, stuff like that?
Ethical issue. I think it depends on how animals are raised and how they're treated. You know, like a lot of
You know, if they're like treated well before you slit their throats open, then yeah, it's totally fine to slit their throats open. It's fucking stupid.
like a lot of mainstream, I don't know how to articulate that, but like big brand names, they definitely don't raise animals well. Lots of antibiotics, terrible lives, and that sort of a thing. So definitely I don't.
Geo donated $10. Having Gains, quick question. Do you ever have any murderous thoughts while you're around certain people? Well, I mean, there are some people that I'd rather not... I'd rather not be breathing. That's for sure. So, hope that answers your question. Thanks for the donation, Geo.
Support that.
Okay, so you would be like against factory farms, for example. Do you know that like it accounts for most of the meat you can find? So you agree that that would be wrong to buy?
Yeah, definitely.
So let me ask you this: would you be fine with humans being done the same thing, being raised maybe in small farms, not factory farm, but just being raised and then murdered for food?
Well, no, of course not.
So what would be the difference between like humans and other animals that you eat, like chickens, that justifies the difference in treatment?
She's dumb. It's not going to be able to give an answer.
I'm happy to have an interview, but I don't want to be attacked.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just asking, like, what?
I'm happy to have an interview, but I don't want to have to answer tough questions because I'm fucking stupid.
I already hate her quite a bit. What an asshole. What a genuine asshole.
What accounts for your differential attitude? You say it's definitely wrong to kill and eat humans, but not chickens. So I'm just wondering, what accounts for your difference in attitude? What is it different about humans and chickens that accounts?
I understand your question, but it feels a little bit like an attack.
I'm just like exploring your values. I don't mean to be combative. I'm just genuinely I want to explore your values, get to the.
Imagine being such a sensitive fucking pussy that you just ask a question like this. I don't want to be attacked, but she's fine with killing and eating animals. Weird, huh? Funny how you don't give the animals that sort of sympathy. What a horrible person.
Truth, because to me it feels pretty wrong to like murder chickens and eat them. So I'm just asking why you personally think it's not wrong. Like what's true about animals that it's not true about humans? That makes it okay to kill and eat one, but not the other.
Well, if you look at the evolution of all animals, there's definitely animals that eat other animals. Not all animals are herbivores. There's plenty of animals that are also carnivores or omnivores. And so if you're looking at what humans rely on for protein sources, of course, you can have complete vegan proteins if you're eating rice and beans, which has all 9 amino acids. But if you're eating an animal
the typical dumb basic bitch
designed
response.
to process, and it's
yeah,
an
she is
animal
from
that
Virginia.
has been raised well and had a good life, and it's been grown in a sustainable or raised in a sustainable practice.
You know, sustainable murder that we can keep doing indefinitely.
Farm raising humans.
That's good.
So let me ask you, let's say that hypothetically we found out that actually it was part of our evolutionary history to eat other humans, that we were cannibals and we had our genes programmed us to be cannibals. It was healthy for us to eat humans. Would that make it okay?
I mean, I'm not going to be eating humans anytime soon.
So if it's not like evolutionary history per se that justifies it, what justifies it then? Because you say that it's okay to eat animals because it's like part of our evolutionary history and it's healthy for us. But I asked, what in the case of humans, if it was in fact part of our evolutionary history. But if it was the case, but if hypothetically it was the case, if we discovered that.
Yeah, so what you might want to do here when somebody is denying a hypothetical, saying like, oh, but that's not true, or it's not like that, so who cares? You ask them a question about their ethical principles. So when you raise a hypothetical, the hypothetical is to determine whether or not you believe in your own ethical principles, or testing your own ethical principles. So so when you say, what if humans were cannibals. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. What is true, according to you, is that you value the principle of evolutionary history. So if that's the principle that you value, then you would follow those principles if it were true that humans were cannibals.
Actually, Homo sapiens are cannibals. Would it justify it?
Well, it wasn't the case. It's not the case, so therefore you can't postulate on that because it's not.
But is it a logically consistent hypothetical? Like you could.
Like that's so stupid too. Like I hate it when people say that. Oh, well, it never happened, so you can't really postulate. Okay, so you can't ask a question like, what if this happened? What if that happened? What would you do? It's like, it's so bizarre. I mean, this is a type of conversation that comes up in like normal daily life too. Like, if you were to ask somebody like, oh, when you go to the grocery store, if there's the ice cream I like there, can you buy it? Like, you're not going to say, well, I'm not at the store. I don't know if there's ice cream there, so I don't know how to answer that question. It's like, it's so stupid. Hypotheticals are proposed to you constantly in normal everyday conversation.
Imagine a reality in which that was the case. I'm just asking, if that was the reality, would you consider it fine to eat other humans if it was just part of our evolutionary history to eat humans?
Well, no, because obviously if it was evolved and people don't still do that, there was a good reason, right? So, no.
Wait, what was that?
If it was part of a history and it's not something that continues, that means obviously it was not good. That's why it
By the way, here's a pro tip. When you're done talking to her, throw sand in her face. Try to get sand in her eyes. She fucking deserves it.
doesn't exist anymore. So no.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore because we have like progressed morally speaking. Cannibalism used to be a cultural universal. People used to eat each other for all sorts of reasons, like religious sacrifice, survival reasons, taste, pleasure. We don't do it anymore, thank God, because there's like universal. Most people believe in universal human rights. But I guess my question is, why is it that humans deserve a right not to be enslaved and exploited and killed for food, but animals like chickens don't? Like I really just don't see like a morally significant difference between a human and the sorts of animals that you eat, like a chicken, that would justify.
Look at her rocking back and forth so nervously. Like, if she doesn't want to fucking talk about this because she knows she's a fucking idiot, why doesn't she just say, I don't want to talk about this anymore?